Hello.
Hello. Okay, cool.
Like I could turn it up.
Oh, and then yeah, but we also don't want it to be like
Oh, it'd be too loud either.
distracting. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably fine. You can turn it if you don't mind turning off the speaker, and then we are good. Alrighty, let's see here. Store behind me is so boring.
Stouts taste better when you get a little bit of the foam in your sip.
Yeah, all beers like that. That's
I
like
wouldn't say
literally-
all beers.
That's how you're supposed to drink beer. It's supposed to be a fair amount of head, like constantly. And
I wouldn't say all beers, but like
you're supposed to do this and agitate it a little bit as you drink.
Bud Light's not better with head.
I don't think it makes a fucking difference how you drink Bud Light.
True.
Okay. Oh boy.
But yeah, like flavorful beers, yeah, it's like you get the full effect that way.
Did this work? Somebody's button still don't.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
that
it
is
did
our
work.
alcohol fun fact.
Oh, you want some alcohol fun facts?
Yeah, actually.
Good.
Oh, you didn't have any ready. All right.
No. I just took a driver's course though, but I didn't really pay attention.
Oh, okay.
I had a speeding ticket. And it sucked.
Doesn't it take like approximately an hour for you to like metabolize?
It probably said so in that course, but I didn't really. Like I looked at like some
Because
of the
I had to take a course too for restaurants.
right. So they say it's like an hour to metabolize.
It also depends on how strong the drink was.
Exactly, it's an estimate. A beer, a wine, or a shot. But
What if you're drinking a beer that's so
Exactly.
powerful that it surpasses wine? Maybe not a shot.
Depends. Most shots are only an ounce,
True.
which is half as much as what like a cocktail's supposed to be. So it's like if a cocktail's comparable to a wine, I don't.
I think sugar has an effect on it too.
You think?
I think so.
Oh.
I don't know.
Anyway, I did. They did have this funny video of people. They test drove people under different influences.
Mm-hmm.
So like, some were drunk, and like they had like a control. So they did like a lap, like a close course driving.
Right.
Just normal, and then another one, drunk. Or like some would be like distracted, or like some were like no sleep. So like
Did no sleep test the worst?
no sleep tested just as bad as drunk.
Okay.
Which was surprising.
Well, I mean, lack of sleep, like driving tired is like stupid dangerous.
Yeah. So I mean,
But I guess there's no way to really enforce that law. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you're tired.
they just want to reiterate that. But
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised at because it was kind of fun to watch the video. It's like an older video.
Well,
That-
have you ever gone like a day without like you start to like lose
Oh,
your motors? You don't lose your motor skills, but your reflexes are much slower.
Yeah, I've driven very tired before, and I have hallucinated.
Mm.
It's almost like you start to dream with your eyes open.
Yep.
Does that happen to you?
Yes.
And like, especially things that are far away, start looking like different things. Like trees start looking like monsters, and I'm like, "What the fuck is that?" And I'm like, "Oh shit, that's a tree. I'm an idiot." And then
Shit,
like,
I need to go to sleep.
yeah, and then like another tree looks like a person. And I'm like, "Oh, let me slow down." I'm like, "Oh, there's nobody there," you know.
Yeah.
That used to happen to me. But, and then what was funny was like someone else had to like text. No, not text, because I think this was before texting.
Wow. Okay.
Or around it was like around the time of like PDAs, when the video was done.
Oh, okay.
So I think someone was on a PDA, but they had someone else, like with a pad and paper, and they had to write down a grocery list as a speaker was telling it to them. So like they're literally.
I feel like distracted driving used to be a lot worse.
Maybe, but it's more rampant now with phones.
Right.
But, so he literally has like a pad and paper, and he's writing down, and the speaker's like lemons, and he's like,
Okay,
fuck, while
lemons.
he's driving. They had people like do their makeup while
Did
they're
it have
driving.
somebody like trying to read a map while driving?
No,
Oh.
that would have been cool. That would have been topical of the era.
Yeah, because people just have GPS now, but like, yeah, you used to have to read maps
You
or print out
remember
MapQuest.
Remember MapQuest instructions?
Yeah, but
Print
what
it out.
sucks about that is if you like miss a step, you're kind of fucked.
Well, you see, like, this is why I tell Sable all the time, you should not use your GPS all the time. You should use it when you really need it. But for the most part, you should learn. You should just figure out how to get to where you're going.
I use it a lot so I could see like traffic.
Well, yeah, but on the way to work.
Yeah.
So you know exactly where
I
you're
know
going.
exactly where I'm going. I'm just like, how long is it going to take me to get there?
Yeah.
Did anything happen?
But in general, you should just go without your GPS because you don't realize it, but you don't make any like long-term memories when the GPS is on and you don't have to think about it. You just make the turns and whatever. And it's like Sable doesn't remember how to get to my mom's house. She's been a bunch of times. Every time she uses her GPS. And I'm like, one time just go.
A lot of the neighborhoods there look the same though.
Yeah, but I'm like, one time just go and remember like 2 stop signs, make a left, and then you're gonna kind of see where you know what I mean? Like, you don't make those like connections when you're just listening to directions.
Right.
But the second you take that away, like suddenly your brain like innately is like, oh, here, and you learn especially like streets like these, like this is a city grid that we're in here in the downtown, so it's like just drive around for a bit with like no directions, and then you'll start to learn your way around. But if you're always relying on the directions, it's not.
You're always
gonna
be lost.
Yeah. But so like back in those days, I remember like you needed to know like what the exits meant, and this was like when they were switching them over to like the match the mile markers.
Oh, because they used to be.
They used to just be numbered.
Yeah.
Now they match the miles, so you would know, like you needed to know, like okay, my exit is in 5 miles, just by looking at current exits. Like that's how it's supposed to work, but people use their GPS. So it's like I feel like normal people.
So to just be like, oh, I know I have to get off at exit 13. But when do I hit it?
Yeah. Or if you miss exit 13, oh shit, it was 2 miles ago. Get off, find your way, read the signs, get back on, take exit 13 coming the other way.
It's a pain in the ass, but you
needed to learn how to do that because, like, to your point, like if you miss a step and you don't have your instructions, what do? Yeah, you need to understand the road system.
You're flying blind at that point.
And I fear that a lot of people today don't understand the road systems anymore, like mile markers and exits and reading the fucking signs.
I don't think people read signs.
No, they definitely don't. And I didn't read the speed signs, which is how I got a ticket. So I started slowing down because I felt like this feels like a speed trap. Like it was a pretty busy road, and now it's like a street with houses. And I was like,
why am I in a residential area?
I was like, how did that happen? I feel like I should slow down. So I started slowing down.
It's too late.
And it was too late. He had already clocked me. And I tried explaining that to him, but he was like, there were 3 signs. And I'm like, this is a speed trap, and that's why you're here. Like, this is clearly.
You wouldn't be here waiting.
Yeah. It went from like 40. It went something from like 50 down to like 25 in like no time. Anyway. So, that's how I am. I'm not good. How are you?
I've been working a lot. I did not get a ticket, but I have been very, very, very tired.
When did I see you last? Oh, for Pirates.
For Pirates, but before that, it had been like last time we recorded.
Yeah, I was on vacation. We went to Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
Whoa. Yeah, I've just been working, and I've been working.
Yeah, we've been so busy. Anytime I'm not working, we've been working on Sable's thing. So we found Sable her own little private studio, just her by herself, and that's just a lot easier said than done. Like it took. We had a fight. I don't know if he told you this part. We had to like fight with the zoning officials.
Really?
In Orlando? Yeah.
Because of like what, tattoos?
Yeah. There's a limit for tattoos. In the downtown area, so we had to go slightly outside of the downtown area, and we found a spot, and it was zoned correctly. It just all worked out really well.
Okay, so you're still like downtown, but like
we're 5 minutes away.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have to go through like these neighborhoods, and then you end up. It's like the heart of like the food area of Orlando. And it's just a nice little building. Publix nearby, like it's nice. So we're really excited about that, but it was a lot of work. Like I'm exhausted. And there's so much more work to do. Like we got to fill out there's so much red tape to go through, like her licenses.
Right. Don't you have to do like almost like a health inspection?
Yeah, so that's what we're setting up.
Okay.
So it's a license to set up the establishment, and then it's also like de facto a permit, so it'll get the health inspections coming. So they have to do an initial inspection, and they'll do one yearly, or unless if somebody complains. It's just like a restaurant.
Is she eventually going to get like people renting out booths in there? Maybe.
No, it's really small.
It's literally just
600 square feet.
Oh, okay.
So it's the size. I mean, she could fit one other person in there if she really wanted to, but she doesn't want to. She just wants it to be for herself.
Okay.
So it's a room about the size of this bedroom, and then
it's a decent size actually.
And then another room outside that has like a little like waiting area and a little like.
Is there a bathroom?
No, the bathroom is down the hall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we might get a sink installed, depending on what the health department says.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like you need to wash your hands.
You do, but depends on what they say, because like in regular tattoo shops, the bathroom sometimes is down the hall anyway.
That's true.
And
Maybe it just needs to be within a certain proximity.
Yeah, it's not too far.
Okay.
So it's just going to be a whole thing. But we have the ability to install a sink. We might just do that like soon, like on the sooner end.
Yeah, because she's going to be in there when?
Just in case of in a month.
Okay.
Just in case if the health department has like any problems.
Qualms.
Yeah, any qualms. All right. So, anybody here? Anyone want to say hi in the chat?
Someone's here.
There was 2 people here a second ago.
We scared someone away.
I know. We're just usually we do the news, but I am saving that for the next podcast. Today's going to be short. We just want to get through this. And then I got to go bake a cake because tomorrow it's a friend of ours' birthday, and it's also 4th of July.
Yeah, but we're not baking a cake for America.
No, we're not doing that. I'd argue America was not good this year and doesn't deserve a cake.
It's very naughty.
Yeah. It's been a bad boy.
Florida's been pretty bad too.
Yeah, actually. So speaking of speeding, one of the laws that just passed that went into effect. Did you hear about this?
If you go over 100 miles per hour, you're going straight to jail?
Yeah, you're getting arrested.
Straight to jail.
Straight to jail. We have the safest drivers because jail.
So what's the point of having a powerful car?
I mean, you should never go.
No, you should
never go over 100.
You should never be going that fast anyway on like a highway or any street really. But it's like we have these cars that can do these things and we're not allowed to use them.
Yeah. I hit 100 all the time. It's very easy in my car to hit 100 because it drives very smooth.
I get to like 90. If I hit it, I've gone to 100 before. My car gets a little shaky because it's a tiny ass car.
Not mine.
Oh,
mine's
a tiny ass car and it's old, I should say.
Mine is a very well put together car, and it can hit 100 and you would never know. And I've done it so many times.
You would know if you're going 100 in mine.
I've done like 105 and I'm like, ooh, I should probably back it up. And now I can get arrested in the state of Florida.
Yes.
Also, it's not just 100; it's 50 over. So, which sounds crazy, but think about it. Like there are okay, in the University of Florida, there is
actually Florida has really low speed limits.
4-lane divided highway. Not highway, but it's a 4-lane divided road.
Right.
On campus. It's like pretty high traffic, but there's a campus-wide 20-mile-per-hour speed limit. Why? Because most of the old streets in campus, there's just a lot of students everywhere. It's a school zone, basically.
Crossing. Yeah.
So you need to go slow. But this one part of campus is outside of kind of like the walkable areas. And again, 4 lanes, 2 lanes in every direction, median in the middle. It is still 20 miles an hour. And that's where campus police gets everybody. Because it is impossible to drive 20 miles.
Because it's built like a fucking freeway.
Exactly. And it is impossible to drive 20 miles an hour there. So I got to take it one time there when I was in college. And I was going like 40.
So you're going 20 over.
I was going 20 over. Now, 50 would be 70, which is crazy.
But 70 on campus would be crazy, but
there's the room to do it, and the road is like
right.
safe looking. So like,
because I feel like if you're going 20, people are riding your ass.
Yeah, someone could do it though, and then they get arrested.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, and here in Florida, most of the time the speed limit's 55, maybe 60.
Well, Yeah, so 50. So if it's 40 and you're going 90,
And everybody
you're
goes
gonna be
80
arrested.
all the time. If you go less than 80, someone's
The thing
going to
is,
ram you.
I understand the 50 over. Now that I'm saying it, I understand that more because you'd have to be going like if for it to not be for it to be less than 100, you have to be going 90 in a 40.
Right. Which is crazy.
Which is crazy because if it's 40 miles an hour, it's probably because it's semi-residential.
Yeah.
And that's so unsafe.
But then you get on the highway and it's like 55.
But yeah, if you're like on the highway that the speed limit's 60 or 65 and people are doing 80 normally.
Because everybody does 80.
Everyone does 80.
It's very easy to get to 100.
So, yeah, exactly. Like that's...
Even the cops do 80.
Like 100 is bad, but like, I don't know, arrested?
It's a lot.
It's so funny because when I saw the video for that, it was filmed by the police, like the highway patrol, and they're like, well, what's unfortunate is that we can't make an arrest, but now we can. And I'm like, that the way you frame that is so
now we can arrest people.
Yeah, like it didn't seem like you have our interests at heart.
It seems like you want money.
It seems like you just wanted to arrest people. It's like, oh, but we couldn't arrest them before.
What's the bail on getting arrested for going?
It's a good question. It's probably just spend the night in jail or something. That's what happens if like you get like a DUI. But
yeah,
Florida's fucked. Also, they're getting rid of the fluoride.
I think they already started.
So I don't know when Orlando is doing that.
So we got to brush our teeth 3 times a day now.
So or use mouthwash.
Okay.
Yeah. Which I've never used mouthwash, but I've always lived on a city
with fluoride.
With fluoride. So I may have been on well water for a little bit, but I doubt it. I don't think I was ever on well water.
Also, we learned that our government can build things in a week.
That's insane. That whole issue is so fucking infuriating that every time I think about it,
but the turnaround was
boils.
Super impressive.
Okay, hang on. They all they did
is it a bunch of prefabricated shit?
Yeah, no, they just rolled in like a bunch of like cheap furniture, right? Like bunk beds.
Is it like prefab buildings though?
No, the building I think was already there.
Oh.
They just
that's not that impressive.
No, they built cages inside of the buildings.
I thought they built the building in a week. I was like, whoa.
No, the building was already there. And then I think they're tents.
Oh.
It's not that crazy.
It's getting less impressive.
Yeah, it's like, you know, when you see the circus get built in 2 days, it's like that. Only less impressive because it's not a fucking circus, right? And then they brought in a bunch of like those like porta potties, like the big ones.
Oh, nice.
With like running water. But like they don't have water either. So they have to like have to bring it.
They're in the Everglades. They just got to dig a little bit.
It's such a well, probably, but it doesn't work like that.
They'll get water. It won't help them much. But
they have to like bring in the water. They have to bring everything because it's essentially like an island.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's in the middle of nowhere. It's such a waste of taxpayer money.
It is.
It's a horrible like. It's
a horrible look too.
I mean,
the optics aren't great.
Well, I was gonna say like environmentally, it's a horrible.
Well, yeah, that too. Everglades is supposed to be what, a protected area.
It's a national park.
Yeah.
So they have the right to do it, and like under this bill that passed 4 fucking hours ago, they can sell off national park land to private companies like BlackRock to like build shit.
I don't like that.
No, of course not. Like, of course not. Nobody likes it, bro.
I don't like that.
The only people that like it are the people that stand to profit, and it's bad. And like, the Everglades are protected for a reason because it's the last of the swampland.
Yeah.
But like, so they don't have to ask permission. Like, it's federal land. They can just fucking do what they want.
Oh man, they're gonna dry up those wetlands.
And then not only that, but it's obviously like, what's our word I'm looking for? Like a humanitarian thing. Like,
oh yeah.
Like, are these people? There's already detainees on their way there. They're going like tomorrow or something. Hopefully not tomorrow. Jesus.
But maybe.
But maybe. It's
actually no. Those government employees have the day off.
Yeah. So I saw there's applications. And they were going around the internet. People were talking about it to be like a guard there, and they're gonna pay $90K.
Actually, that's pretty good pay.
Well, hang on, no, because you have to live there.
Oh, I'm not living in the Everglades.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm out.
Yeah. You have to live there. And so you're getting paid.
That needs to be like 120K.
Yeah. So it sounds like a lot, but once you break it down, it's basically like 50K. Because you're working long hours too. So.
Yeah.
But anyway.
They tried to make it sound good on paper, though.
Yeah.
They almost got me.
No, but it's also like, anyway, yeah. Obviously, it's a humanitarian disaster.
Yeah.
On top of that, and it just seems cruel, right? Because they're just like, yeah, man, sharks and alligators, they'll get you. It's like,
why?
We
don't have to do that.
These probably are not criminals. They say they like to throw that word around, but
and I'm sure some are, but.
Yeah, but they can just go to regular jail then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We don't need this special facility.
If you commit a crime, you can go to regular prison.
Mm-hmm. There's space.
These people aren't criminals. They're just like it's not. They're infractioners.
I guess they technically are.
No. It's not a crime. It's an infraction. It's like speeding. Speeding is not a crime. Well, it is now. If you go 100, now it's a crime.
Well, yeah, now it's a crime. Everything's a crime now.
Now it's a crime. But if you like run a red light or something, like that's an infraction. Or like if you jaywalk, that's an infraction. You're not a criminal.
I jaywalked on the way here.
You know, you just get a ticket or you get a slap on the wrist.
Right.
Not having a legal status is the same thing. So that's a common misconception. A lot of people are using it as a justification.
Right.
It's not a crime. Just saying. Anyway.
You can bet your ass they're gonna make it one though.
Well, that would take legislation, but then again, they passed this awful bill today.
Crazier things have happened.
They passed this bill that was so bad today, and then like even Republicans didn't like it. And then,
so how did it pass?
Well, apparently, like the Republicans that didn't like it went to the White House today, and all that we know is that they went into the Oval Office and came out with signed merch. I'm not kidding. I'm not. This is literally what happened, and it makes
what?
And I'm like, please let there have been bribes at least. At least tell me that you got.
Hey, I'll give you my autograph if you
tell
fuck
me
off.
Tell me it wasn't you, like you weren't that cheap, and you know what I mean.
I could see it being some like Wilson Fisk stuff.
Like tell me like there was like $1 million each in the hats in those.
Right then it's
hats.
like okay.
All right, you sold out. You got a payday. I almost get it. But
the
like
signed merch is crazy.
Signed merch and a photo op, and suddenly you just want to like get a million. Like I don't know how many millions of people are suddenly off Medicaid now. Like overnight, there's hospitals that are literally closing down because now. And the thing is, think about this. Like if hospitals have to close because they're not getting Medicaid dollars in, that means that the hospitals that are not closing need to raise their prices.
Yeah, this is just all around bad.
So insurance premiums are going to go up. So as bad as health care and health insurance is now, it's only going to get worse without Medicaid dollars going in. Like this, it's just insane all the way around. But I mean, sell us out for a signed hat, I guess.
Hey, happy birthday, America.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, did you know that this is a political podcast now. Did you know that July 2nd is actually Independence Day?
Is that wait, didn't they sign the declaration on?
They signed the declaration in their own time, actually.
Okay.
And that's like in August. Okay, here's my quick rant, and then we can start the episode. I hate the 4th of July for 3 reasons. Okay.
Because it's the wrong date.
That's reason number 2. Number 1, I hated that we call it the 4th of July. Doesn't make any fucking sense. We sound like stupid asses. Okay. It's called
the holiday is the day of the month.
It's called Independence Day, people. Call it Independence Day, okay? That's my number 1. Imagine if we said
that's actually a good point.
Merry 25th of December. Like what? Like
is Christmas even technically on the 25th of December? That's not the birth of Christ.
I can explain that one too, but at least we have a date, right?
Okay.
Or how about, hey, how was your 4th Thursday in November? It was good. I spent it with my family, had turkey.
We gave thanks.
What? Like, does it make sense? The only other holiday I can think of that's like that is Cinco de Mayo. And guess what? That is also uniquely American because in Puebla, the town where they celebrate, the only town in Mexico where Cinco de Mayo is a thing, they don't even call it Cinco de Mayo.
They call it Independence Day?
No, they call it La Batalla de Puebla.
Oh.
And sometimes La Batalla de Puebla de Cinco de Mayo.
Sometimes.
But we're the ones that call it Cinco de Mayo.
Hey, 5th of May.
So it's just, Independence Day. Just call it Independence Day. Like, we sound stupid, okay? That's number one.
We are American.
I mean, Canada calls it Canada Day.
Yeah.
And that wasn't.
Yeah, we don't even call it America Day.
That wasn't even the original name. Canada Day was like the second name.
Right.
I did a quick research on this. But anyway, yeah, call it America Day, which is
like
dumb.
That sounds dumb, but I mean, it's better. It's
Independence
better.
Day.
It's better.
It's called Independence Day.
It's the day we got our. Well, I guess it's not the day we got our independence, but it's
the
day that we celebrate our independence.
Right. So point number 2, nothing. I won't say nothing. Very few and very insignificant actual events happened on the 4th of July. What do I mean by that? The goddamn thing was written in June. Okay. It was voted on and made edits to on the 2nd of July. All of Congress, they said, yes, let's do it. 2nd of July, they shook on it. They said,
They're like, cool.
Huzzah! Right?
Actually, they probably did say huzzah.
And then
they said shit like that.
And then they were like, okay, so those edits, we just got to take them to the printer, print that bitch out, right? Because, it's 1776.
Right.
So what happened 2 days later? It got printed out.
Hot off the press.
Hot off the press. John Hancock signed it. That's why on the top it says 4th July. And then it got distributed without their, and I might be slightly wrong. I'm not a historian. It got distributed everywhere because we wanted the people to know we're doing this, right?
Like, hey, we're going to declare our independence
from Great Britain, right?
Right.
And then, so the signatures were actually not public because they're terrorists now, right?
Yeah,
their names weren't made public till like much later.
Was John Hancock's name public?
I don't remember who was and who wasn't public.
Okay.
But so anyway,
because that'll get you put on a list.
And then by the time everyone actually physically signed it, it wasn't until August.
So it took a minute.
So it took a minute. So what happened on the 4th? It got printed, and that's basically it. So it's like, and it's not. This isn't just my opinion. There's a whole discussion if you go online about 2nd of July versus 4th of July. Obviously, it's just too late now. But John Adams, like to the day he died, he was like, "Hey, it's not the 4th of July, everyone. We did this on the 2nd. The act of bravery that we undertook did not happen on the 4th. It happened on the 2nd. We should celebrate the 2nd." And because the paper that got distributed says the 4th of July, everyone's like, no, 4th of July. It says it right here on the paper. And he was like, no, damn it. And ironically, he died on the 4th of July.
Oh, man.
He died on the same day as Thomas
He
Jefferson.
probably hated that.
50 years after, on the 50th anniversary, he died. So
he was probably so pissed.
Yeah. Reason number 3, I just don't. This is debatable, but like, I don't know if the Declaration of Independence is the most significant event of us
the revolution
of the Revolutionary War. You know what I mean? And if you look at other countries,
it's probably the most official thing, though, right?
Again, it's a piece of paper. But like, what other countries do is that they celebrate the turning point of a battle. It's like Bastille Day, and like what we do, that would have been the Battle of Yorktown.
Okay.
And I think we should definitely celebrate the Battle of Yorktown.
Boston Tea Party.
Nah, it wasn't as big a deal.
That was more of just like, hey,
I mean, like,
we're mad at you.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, think about like your high school journey. Like, was there one test that's more important than the other? Maybe not. Like, it's just
SATs, I guess.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a series of events, and they all kind of culminate to one thing, right? So it's just like, which of those series of events do you consider the thing?
Graduation.
Right. And I'm like, I think it should probably like the Battle of Yorktown. Like, when we declared our independence, it was a stupid thing to do. It was probably dumb. It's very bold, and I'm proud that it happened. I'm patriotic about that kind of thing. But like,
it wasn't a smart move.
No, and we were all but likely to be doomed. You know what I mean? Like, that's
yeah.
So I don't know. Battle of Yorktown. It happened in October. We don't even celebrate it. It's not even on the calendar.
Was that the turning point in the war?
Yes.
Oh.
That's when the war finally, like, we did it. That's when people like celebrate
we
it.
Have a victory.
And then we celebrate the day that the paper was printed out. Yeah, I don't know.
It's because we have the paper.
It's because we have the paper. You're absolutely right. It's just, it feels anticlimactic. And those are my 3 reasons why I don't like the 4th of July.
All right.
It's not that I don't like Independence Day. It's that I don't like the American history. I do.
You should play Assassin's Creed 3.
Oh, that's the one where they go to like
that's the
Revolutionary War.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's my favorite one.
Yeah. So Revolutionary War, also misnomer. It shouldn't be called that because it wasn't a revolution. But whatever. It got called that. That was my history teacher in high school. That was her big pet peeve.
So what defines a revolution?
A revolution happens from within, and we.
Oh,
No. If we lived in Great Britain and took over Great Britain from the inside out, that's a revolution. It's what the French did. It's what the
but technically
Russians did.
Americans citizens of Great Britain.
We fought. Yeah, but we separated. We
were trying to.
We seceded.
I don't think they ever really accepted that.
Well, we fought a war, but we seceded, so that would be technically speaking, a war for independence.
Which I've seen it called that.
That's exactly what it is. It was not a revolution. So
okay,
we were outsiders who decided to leave. We didn't change the whole thing from the inside out and overthrow the government. That's what a revolution is.
We overthrew the Native Americans.
Yeah. Anyway, if you want to know about Christmas, it's weird. It's very poetic. We don't know when Jesus was born. We know the date that the Annunciation happened. The Annunciation is when, Gabriel? No. Whatever. The archangel tells Michael tells Mary, hey, you're going to have Jesus. He's the Son of God. And he's like that day, and then boom, she's pregnant, right?
Right. So we just assume it's 9 months after that?
Yes. We know that happened on March 25th.
Okay.
We don't know. Okay, actually, we don't know that happened on March 25th.
Calendars probably aren't exactly the same as they were back then.
So how it happened was, we think, or at least we know, or at least it's recorded, that Jesus died on March 25th, right?
Okay.
Now, there is a literary tradition that important people die on the same day they were born. But it's not.
It's not necessarily true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's a poetic thing.
Right.
Right. So they said, okay, same goes for Jesus. Like Shakespeare, I'm pretty sure died on the day he was born, or at least that's how we recorded it.
That's because that's probably how he wanted it to be recorded.
Right. Exactly. So
just tell people it was my birthday.
So Jesus died on the 25th of March, and then so they thought, well, he didn't die on the same day he was born because he's Jesus. He became the same day he died.
Whoa.
Meaning he was announced. He was announced on March 25th. Therefore, if he was born exactly, not a day off, 9 months later, he would have been born on December 25th.
Oh, because it would have been exact because he's Jesus.
Because he's perfect. He's God. Right. So the thinking is not that it's official or not that it's even historical. It's just a cute thing that the early church did. And that's how we have December 25th.
It's not literally the birth of Jesus, but it's like...
Symbolically.
Symbolically, this is when we will celebrate it. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
If he were
kind of like the 4th of July.
Yes. Yeah. If he were truly as perfect as we think he is, and therefore he was born 9 months on the day that he died, announced all that stuff.
What if the 9 months itself isn't perfect? And babies are supposed to be born in 10 months.
Well, it's a number of weeks. So, yeah, you're kind of right. Because the weeks and months are not divisible by one another.
Yeah,
right?
also, months can be different.
Yeah.
Months are different.
Right. Yeah. Our calendar is pretty genius, though. We don't give it enough credit. We get all worked up with the 28 days and the 30 and the 31s, but we don't give it enough credit for like how spot on our calendar is, that it only needs very slight corrections.
I think we need a 13th month
on leap years. So funny you mention that. I have seen that said. I think it's bad luck and it's like a weird number. People like the number 12.
I like the number 13.
Me too. But the number 12 is like, it's like religious to an extent. Like it's like old. But
if you had a 13th month, couldn't you avoid the leap year?
Yes. No. You can't.
No, you wouldn't.
No, but you would avoid all the shenanigans with the days of the months.
With the bullshit, like, oh, this one has 28,
because
this one has 30.
Every single month would be 28 days.
And 28 days later, zombies.
And it would all match up with the lunar calendar also.
So we should have 13 months.
Lunar calendar is 28 days.
We're just dumb and superstitious.
Yeah, we couldn't do 13, but 13 would solve a lot of those problems. Yeah. And then again, months would make sense.
But what would you name the 13th month?
Arnold guest.
And would you put it in the middle of the year, at the end of the year, at the beginning of the year?
Bertember. Oh, jeez. You do know that we went from 10 to 12 months, and that's why a lot of the names are 2 months off, like December, October, November. Like November as in 9 Nov.
But it's the
11th.
That's weird.
October Oct.
So where did they add the other 2 months?
I think it was in the spring.
That's dumb.
Yeah. So and then December Des means 10.
10, but it's our 12th month.
Yeah. We should probably get started. Let's get going. I didn't record any of that.
Oh no, that could have been outtakes.
Hello? Testing?
Test.
Oh, okay, perfect. I thought.
What?
Okay.
I don't.
Sorry, no, our mic's working. It's just this isn't set up right.
Audacity's not working.
Recording device. No, it's set up. What's going on? Test.
Yeah, because we're showing up on there.
Yeah, so people can hear us.
I think.
I'll start it again.
That's weird.
It's happened once before. Test. Okay, cool.
Okay.
All right, we're on. What a good warm-up. We talked about politics, and we talked about American history.
Talked about Jesus.
We talked about Jeebus.
Hell yeah.
We talked about how people say Happy 4th of July, and it irritates me. Okay, test. Do I need to turn mine up a little bit?
Maybe. Your waves are really small.
Yeah, I'm a little...
You're close to the mic, right?
Test. That's probably okay, I think.
All
Yeah,
right.
that's probably fine. I have a habit of getting really loud and then getting really quiet. I bounce around a lot, so. Alrighty, let's get going. Welcome to Where is Mephisto, where we... this is why I should have
Look
the notes.
for Mephisto.
Okay, let's do something real quick. Let's put Daredevil up, that way I have something to read.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Welcome to Where's Mephisto, where we watch your bonus podcast, where we watch whatever is currently streaming and ask the burning question on everyone's mind: where is Mephisto? Surely, he's just around the corner, controlling the scenes, the puppets, the puppeteer. Berto, what are we? All right, I can't do the bit anymore. What are we doing? Where are we looking for Mephisto, Berto?
We are looking for Mephisto in Ironheart.
What an exciting episode of this podcast to be on. If you are listening to this, no spoilers until we start the spoilers, but I think something might happen today.
I think so too.
I've got high hopes.
Check your spoons, guys. check anything that has a reflection. He might be around.
Man. Is he behind me?
I don't see him.
He's behind you. Guys, we are talking about Ironheart. Sorry, Berto says what we're doing.
We're talking about Ironheart.
So the series on Disney Plus that was filmed in 2022.
It's been finished since 2022.
Well,
mostly finished. Well, pretty much finished. Yeah.
It wrapped in 22, but they did a reshoot last year.
A singular reshoot?
Apparently, there was reshoots in April of 2024, which was a full 2 years later. So that's weird, right? They don't do reshoots.
Well, that was around the time they fired Jonathan Majors, right?
I don't know actually.
Or is that also around the time where they said they were restructuring everything too?
Maybe.
Okay.
But my point is like, you don't do a reshoot 2 years later
on a project you've had just sitting on the shelf.
This means this was wrapped, and they were like, "Oh, actually, let's make a change." And I think I know what that change was. We'll get to it, but I think it's the very end.
Okay.
I think that is a reshoot, if you know what I'm talking about. But let's just get into it, because it's hot in here, guys. I'm actually wearing a jacket. I'm actually pretty warm. But yeah, we the Mephisto meter is just it's shaking, it's screaming. We might be onto something. Let's get going. This show is created by Shinaka Hodge, and this was also executive produced by Ryan Coogler.
Okay.
So I think this is
This would have
Ryan-
been done around the same time as Wakanda Forever.
yeah, I think it's because he kind of started it, right?
Mhm.
This character.
Yeah.
This is one of those things where Marvel says, "Hey, let's introduce a character in this one thing," so then they can have their own thing. They've done it like a gajillion times at this point. And so yeah, she was introduced in Wakanda Forever.
Yep.
In 22. And this show was probably supposed to originally come out the next year. And here we are 3 years later.
Yeah, I remember back when it was announced. I think we talked about it on this podcast. We're like, oh, there's an Ironheart show coming.
I remember when they announced a certain casting, which I am going to talk about a lot today because it bothers me quite a bit.
Okay.
But let's get going. This show is starring Dominic Thorne. I'm just going to go down this list. Lyric Ross. Manny Montana. Oh, yeah, I liked him. Matthew Elam, Angie White, Jim Rash, Eric Andre, Cree Summer, Shea Coulier. Is that how you say their name?
That's how it looks like it's said.
Yeah. Coulier?
Coulier? It's got the E with like the little...
Well, it's got two E's, so I don't want to make sure it's not like an extra syllable.
And then the little... What's that called over the E?
An accent?
Yes.
Okay. Sonia Dennis, Zoe Tarakis, Shakira Barrera, Anthony Ramos, Alden Ehrenreich,
Han Solo
Reagan.
himself.
Yeah. He's fantastic, by the way.
He actually is. Yes.
Reagan, Aaliyah, Paul Calderon, and Sacha Baron Cohen.
Ooh.
Let's get going. Do you want to do some quick background?
Sure.
Who do you want to learn about today?
All right. Let's well, should we start with from the top with
who should we unpack? Riri
Williams.
Riri Williams debuted in an Invincible Iron Man Volume 3 in May of 2016. I remember when this character came out. I thought it was so interesting. I'm not a huge comic book reader, but I read here and there. But I remember hearing about it.
You also lean more towards DC when you
do
read them. But
2016, this wasn't that long ago, right? That was the
9
summer.
years ago.
No, I know, but I mean, all things yeah, but we're just old though.
Oh,
all
yeah,
things
we're just old.
Like,
yeah.
this was like during
It's fairly recent.
right before Captain America: Civil War.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. MCU was in full swing by.
Yeah,
time,
and then
yeah.
here are these new characters being invented that are now like getting their own MCU appearances.
Yeah.
Like pretty quick turnover. Yeah, but anyway, created by Brian Michael Bendis and artist Mike Deodato.
Deodato? I don't know.
And she was
Deodato?
inspired by real life American actress Sky Jackson.
Isn't she from like
I don't know where she's
Disney Channel? Yep.
Oh yeah. Jesse and Bunked
I saw Jesse. I never saw Bunked.
and Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, nice.
And She Rose. That's newer. And the Smurfs. Anyway. Oh, there's a controversy.
Of course there is.
What the hell? Oh, there was a variant cover that was criticized for sexualizing the character, who at the time was 15 years old. Well, I guess she's still 15. I don't know. I don't know how time works in comics. But
sexualized in
she's
what way?
15. I don't know
Was it just probably like a provocative pose or something?
Probably. Let's look it up.
Is that it?
I mean,
'Cause that's not that bad.
It's not great either.
I mean, that's kind of also just how people dress.
It's a little. Look, in most comics, you'd go like, yeah, like this is how comics. Everyone looks super hot. But if she's supposed to be 15, like,
yeah,
they gave her. I don't know. It's pretty. Like, listen.
You know what? Yeah, that part right there is a bit much.
You can't see it, but like, she's wearing a tiny tank top. They drew her boobs pretty explicitly.
I think if they just had the pants a little higher, it wouldn't be a problem.
Pants are pretty low rise.
I think that's the main issue.
Like something like this is fine. This is what a teenager
that looks cool,
like, and she's not sexualized. Like, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, yeah, all comic books are sexualized, but like, again, the character's
a
child.
Yeah.
Probably not.
This ain't Japan, guys.
Okay. Anyway, Riri Williams is a 15-year-old engineering student and daughter of Riri Williams Sr. I guess
She's named after her father.
Dad, yeah.
Okay.
I've never heard.
A man named Riri?
I guess. Anyway, following her father's death, Riri lives with her mother Ronnie, her stepfather Gary, and her paternal aunt. What?
Paternal aunt.
Oh, paternal aunt as in sister of father.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay,
Paternal aunt Sharon in Chicago, a certified super genius. She attends MIT on a scholarship. She later befriends Natalie Washington, who showed an interest in her work. One day during a picnic at Marquette Park, an assailant driving his car opened fire on some bystanders, with Riri being devastated that Gary and Natalie become victims of the shooting. Working alone, Riri designs a suit of armor similar to the Iron Man armor using materials stolen from campus. When campus security knocks on her door, she flees wearing the suit. Blah, 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 blah. So anyway, she basically just builds her own Iron Man suit.
Yeah.
Because she's smart.
Because she can.
Because she can, exactly. She has been on the Young Avengers and I guess the regular Avengers too. It says right here she team
that might be a more recent thing.
Yeah. Ability, skilled inventor, yeah, duh, and then all the Iron Man stuff.
Pretty much Iron Man power set with like I guess some slight variances on certain things. Like she doesn't have an arc reactor or anything like that.
Right. Here's a character we'll do. There's some spoiler characters. I want to do background on them as we get
them. Two of the characters are definitely spoilers.
Yeah, let's just do them as we get there.
Okay.
I don't know where.
Which one were you looking at on here?
I have no idea. And the reason is because, Parker Robbins right here.
Oh, okay. The Hood.
Parker Robbins is the Hood, a supervillain appearing, blah, blah, blah. Created by Brian Vaughn and Kyle Hotz and Eric Powell. Character first appeared in Hood #1, July 20.
He had his own series?
2002.
Huh.
I mean, I feel like it was a time when they would just throw anything into the wall, and see what sticks.
Early 2000s, yeah, Marvel was in trouble back then.
So the Hood, Parker Robbins, was originally a petty criminal who defeated and robbed Nisanti Demon of its hood and boots. Who's Nisanti?
I don't know. I feel like there's supposed to be like an A in front of that, like A Nisanti Demon.
Right, that's what kind of how it reads, right? So he robbed a demon, and he gave him superhuman abilities such as levitation and invisibility.
Oh, cool.
The Hood is a well-known figure in New York City and criminal underworld. Blah blah blah. Played by Anthony Ramos. Yeah, he's been in the Illuminati. He's been on the Thunderbolts.
Illuminati. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Illuma-whatty?
Yeah, right. And he's also made Alias. Wait, notable aliases. Oh, he becomes Ghost Rider.
Who doesn't become Ghost Rider?
That's a good question. Like, who isn't on the Thunderbolts, right? Because when we
they'll take anyone.
When we did them, we kind of read through. It's like basically like every single person, every single like villain has been on the Thunderbolts.
Yeah, in some capacity.
Or anti-hero.
And then like Ghost Rider's like anybody that has a tie to the supernatural at all, I feel like becomes Ghost Rider at some point.
Right? That's funny.
All right, so he's a crime lord, but he has like demonic powers.
Yeah. Okay, so I think I already did him. Proxima Midnight. No.
She's not in this.
Oh, the other person I wanted. We'll get to her when we get to her.
Okay.
So let's just get going. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Episode 1. It's only 6 episodes. We're gonna run through it. It won't take too long, I guess. I always like to make sure we are recording.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't want
to. Every time. Episode 1. Take Me Home. Riri Williams' request for MIT to extend her grant for another year is denied, and she's expelled from school after Dean Choi and Professor Wilkes know her helping other students in school. Other students plagiarize their work in exchange for money. Riri takes off in her suit. Oh my God! Riri takes off in her new suit of armor to her. Sorry, I got hiccups. To her hometown of Chicago, where she is still grieving the deaths of her best friend Natalie Williams and stepfather Gary from a drive-by shooting.
Washington.
So, what?
You said Williams.
Oh shit. Where she is still grieving the deaths of her best friend Natalie Washington and stepfather Gary from a drive-by shooting. So we just read her like comic origin,
Yeah,
and
it's
that's
exactly this.
exactly that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Riri shares with Natalie's brother Xavier on how she wants her talents to be taken seriously. She is recruited by John to join the gang of his cousin Parker Robbins, also known as the Hood. When she visits Parker's hideout, he tests Riri by trapping her in a gas-filled elevator, which she narrowly escapes. Initially denying this offer to join their next 3 heists, she relents when Parker offers her financial compensation. At home, Riri lashes out at her mother, Ronnie, over the loss of their loved ones, and Ronnie tells her that she has unprocessed grief she has to deal with. Riri's grieving during her brain mapping of her artificial intelligence leads to it being a digital recreation of Natalie. So yeah, she's basically, and something I've thought about when they casted Dominique Thorne is that she's not that young.
No, she's not.
And I thought, she's probably already a little bit old to be playing Riri Williams, because Riri's supposed to be
she's supposed to be like younger than Peter Parker.
She's a young prodigy,
Yeah.
right? So she's already in MIT by age 15.
Right.
And
Dominic, was she supposed to be like 15 in Wakanda Forever?
No, I think she's supposed to be more or less her age. I think, I guess in this, like,
has she been in MIT for like 7 years?
I think she's been in MIT for 5. I think she said here.
Okay. So that'd make her about 20 years old.
That would make, well, I guess, but like,
she looks older than 20.
She's 27.
Yeah, I was like, she looks like our age.
But so when they filmed this, she would have been 25, 24.
Right.
So
maybe like slightly older than her character.
She's supposed to be playing, I think she's supposed to be playing like 22. You know, I think she's pretty much like the correct age, like to be graduating college, which is 22.
Which is weird, because if you got into MIT at 15,
right?
what happened?
I don't know. I think, and we're gonna get.
And she didn't even graduate college; she got kicked out.
Yeah, I think we'll get to all the.
I think she's supposed to be like 18 in this.
There's no way, dude. There's no way she's supposed to be 18. I can't buy that.
The thing is, like, they never say her. The only thing they say is she got into MIT at age 15. That's all they tell us.
They say that here?
Yeah.
In the show?
Yeah.
So then she's supposed to be 20 then.
I guess. 20 is believable. There's no way she's 16.
Sure. Okay. I'll buy 20. I don't like it, but I'll buy it.
when the professor, the lady, when the lady was talking, she's like,
she's the dean, and the
dean.
one
I thought Dean was the dean.
No, Dean is a professor. Professor Wilkes. We want him to be, or Wikes. Does that say? I can't read from here. It's Wilkes.
It's Wilkes. Yeah. Like John Wilkes Booth.
I want him to I want him to be the dean. Why wouldn't they just make him the dean? He's a professor.
He's the dean.
That's the whole point. That's the whole reason he was cast in Civil War.
Was he the dean in Civil War then?
I guess he was a professor. He makes a joke.
Why was he doing the whole?
I don't know, because I don't know. He makes a joke about faculty. I think that's the line.
Okay.
Because technically, if you're faculty, you're a teacher.
Okay,
if you're dean, I think you're staff.
Because he mentioned something like, "Oh, will the faculty be getting anything?"
Right.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of a. I think they wrote themselves into a corner there. It doesn't matter.
They're like, "Shit, we got the dean from Community, but he's not the dean."
Right. I feel like the Russos wanted him to be the dean. That's why that's the whole point of
that was
like they were casting people. They were putting Community people in their movies.
Yeah.
Because that's how they got their start. Right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It was just funny. I noticed Rampage wasn't mentioned in the.
Oh yeah, Eric Adams. Not Eric Adams. That was the current and near to be former mayor of New York City. Eric Andre.
Eric Andre.
Yeah. He's pretty much wasted in this.
He is, unfortunately.
He's a very famous comedian. He is the most famous person in all of this, I think. Next to
Sacha Baron Cohen.
I guess Sacha Baron Cohen.
He's a pretty famous comedian.
Anthony Ramos, I guess.
Anthony Ramos is getting there. I don't think he's there quite yet.
Eric Andre has his own TV show. He's on memes. He does.
Anthony Ramos is probably the most famous to like theater nerds.
Okay.
Like 100%.
Well, yeah, he's in Hamilton.
Yeah.
He's an original cast member of Hamilton. But Eric Andre has his own TV show. He does a bit where he's at the White House fence and he's like, "Let me in,
let me in."
He does the thing
where
with
he shoots Hannibal.
Yeah.
He goes, "Why would you do this?"
I'm just saying, I think he's criminally wasted in this because he has like 3 lines.
Yeah,
and then he's gone.
His
for the rest
character
of the
ends
show.
up being a little important, but like
in
that's,
post.
That's
like,
without him though. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, they could have done more with Rampage. I liked him the little bit he was on screen.
He should have had a bigger role for sure. But let's move on. Will the real Natalie please stand up? That's episode 2. Riri meets Parker's gang as they target a tunnel demonstration. So that's the name of a company making like underground tunnels.
They're doing like the Elon Musk thing.
They're doing what he said he would do, but never did.
Yeah, they're actually getting it done. Yeah.
Target a tunnel demonstration aiming to convert Chicago's freight tunnels into a private highway at the expense of local communities. So it's for the ultra rich to do. With her armor incomplete, Riri heads to Evanston to seek Joe McGillicuddy, a black market arms dealer suggested by her AI.
What a fucking name.
Who is, yeah. Whose name is McGillicuddy? McGillicuddy. It's hard to say. Is it? Fuck. Well, fuck. What's her name? Lucy. Is it her name, Lucy McGillicuddy?
Lucy who?
I Love Lucy.
Is it?
It like the character's name. She becomes Lucy Arnaz.
I gotta look this up.
Or is it Lucy?
Because I used to love watching I Love
Lucy, but she used to go when she'd get mad, she would call herself by her maiden name because she was independent and feminist. You look that up while I get.
Because she becomes Lucy Ricardo.
Sorry, not Arnaz.
Because Ricky Ricardo.
Yeah.
Junior. Let's see. I'm gonna look it up because I want to know. Yeah, Arnaz was his real name.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It's Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo.
I told you. I fucking knew it. Why this open? I knew
Joe would pick that name.
I knew that name from somewhere.
This schmuck would absolutely choose that as a song.
I watched so much I Love Lucy growing up. Because I was a night owl and it was always on Nick at Night.
I always liked Fred.
I watched an episode not that long ago.
I want to watch them.
It kind of holds up.
What's it streaming on?
It's got to be on something. Maybe Max. I remember like some of those old shows were on Max.
Because I used to watch it a lot as a kid.
So
my parents loved watching I Love Lucy.
You want to know some bullshit? There was I think 3 I Love Lucy shows. Mm-hmm. There was a sequel series, and then there was like a break, and then a third series. The third series it was either the third series or the second series. I don't remember. But Ethel comes back.
Okay.
Right. So
her
Ethel,
best friend.
Yeah, and Lucy. Ethel was playing a different character, so it wasn't Ethel.
Oh, that's stupid.
And I think Lucy was technically not the same Lucy either. I think it was like a reboot.
Oh,
and they were playing new characters with new last names.
That's some bullshit.
I know. And I'm like, I didn't know if maybe there was like a copyright thing. I meant to look into it, but like...
I didn't know there were like other series or spinoffs or anything.
Yeah. There was a couple more. There's one where they like live in a bigger house. They move out to the suburbs.
Was it still called I Love Lucy?
No. They all had different names. There was like the Lucy and there's the Lucy and Desi show or the Lucy and Ricky show. I think it was a Lucy and Desi show.
Which is their real names.
Right. Because her real name is Lucille Ball.
And Desi
Arnaz.
Yeah.
Anyway. How do we get on that? McGillicuddy.
McGillicuddy.
Okay, anyway, a black markets dealer suggested by her AI who chooses the name Natalie and displays behavior reminiscent of Natalie. By the name Natalie, I mean Natalie, but I'm not going to say that. So, we kind of blew through it, but like, yeah, so she like falls asleep while like I guess she's doing like a brain
scan
mapping.
to create an AI because she lost the little Clippy knockoff.
It was a Clippy knockoff, yeah.
Yeah, she was just trying to make a new like AI, like a Jarvis for a suit, basically.
Right. And so I guess what happened is that it latched onto her like traumatic memories of her best friend.
Yeah.
And used all her memories, and now she's like, basically like
reincarnated.
Yeah, like you kind of can't tell the difference, right?
Yeah, and like
at least she can't.
As far as Natalie is concerned, she's Natalie,
right?
Because she remembers everything that Riri remembers about her.
And then I guess they spent enough time together, being best friends or whatever.
Which, I mean, it's even mentioned in the show. It's like creating an AI from your own brain scan is maybe not ethically the best thing to do.
So I've always
actually a theme throughout the show is kind of people calling out Riri on what she does and why it's like maybe you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But she does it anyway.
Ethics.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's always, and I think Joe in these scenes talks about it pretty succinctly about the ethics of technology, because you're always kind of on the cutting edge. You're breaking into a new barrier, and that asks a different ethical question.
Yeah.
And I think now, at least what some of this show is trying to say is, what are the ethics of AI? Like real current day AI, not Marvel. Like, what are we doing with AI today? And what's, kind of...
Which I think is going to be something that plays in a lot of media that comes out.
Oh, for sure.
In the next few years.
Yeah, 100%.
With how quickly we're moving with AI and how scary AI is actually getting.
I know, yeah. But, shit, what was I going to say? Oh, something I've always wondered about Iron Man, and I think this kind of answers it, at least with the brain mapping thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess, like, her intention was to, like, the AI needs to be able to, like, be in sync with the user?
I guess, yeah.
Any user? Because I know sometimes these suits are interchangeable. Like, other people get in it, which to me doesn't make too much sense because how would they fit? It's pretty tight in there. But anyway.
Unless it can change its... Well, later on with Tony and his fucking nano suits, I guess that's not an issue. But
well, not the nano suits, but like in Iron Man 3... they put the
That's
fucking
a good one.
They put the vice president in one of them. And it's like, I know he's got
he's the actual president.
Oh, that was you're right. That was
President Ellis.
Yeah, excuse me, sorry. Not
the honorable President Ellis.
Yes, you're right. They put the president in there, but I mean, surely the president has a pooch that like Rhodey doesn't,
Maybe there's like some
wiggle room.
Yeah.
Maybe. Anyway, so when you're Iron Man, how do you fly? How do you control the suit? Like,
yeah, how do you turn on the thrusters?
Tangibly.
Yeah.
Because there's no buttons.
They just kind of do it like you think it and it happens.
So like, are there buttons in the... I always wonder, are there buttons in the fingertips that they just click, 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 click,
I'm sure for his repulsors, maybe. Or
because like, obviously, like, he's got to put his hands in the right places.
Yeah.
But like, that doesn't mean he's going to start flying. How do you fly faster? Like, how do you stop? How do you... And I know like the...
Iron Man 3, again, shows that a lot of it might be like gesture-based.
Okay, but like, I don't know, like... And like the AI fills in a lot of gaps. Like if you're flying towards a tiny little hole, you don't have to do it perfectly. The AI is going to actually guide you in.
It's going to correct you a little bit.
Yeah, and it's kind of like in the first one when he like flies really quickly out of the parking garage.
Yeah, Jarvis is helping him out.
Right, like he's not doing that.
Yeah.
But
can you hand me my green gel pen?
Green gel pen?
Yes.
And a regular pen?
Regular pen? What else?
There's a regular pen in the cabinet over there in the drawer. Okay.
This is the last thing.
Okay.
I gotta go.
So, I don't know. I've always thought about that because it's like, it's the machine isn't entirely voice command.
No,
he's not.
It's got to be scanning something,
right? Like it's scanning his thoughts to an extent, and I feel
maybe
like
not to the extent that Riri went with it.
No,
I think
Riri
she
went
too far
over the top. But I feel like there's a certain amount of that where Tony Stark is just he thinks
and
go fast, and it does it.
Yeah,
and he thinks, all right, let's stop here, and it's not just moving his body around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And then if it is like you just to operate the suit, a lot of it's just like your thoughts. It would make sense that like Rhodey would know how to fly in that thing too, because he's a pilot.
Yeah.
He knows how flying works.
Yeah. It's just I don't know, blink twice to shoot your repulsors. Like,
oh, that's too much.
Anyway, Natalie escapes into Riri's home devices and is discovered by Ronnie. So that's the mom, right?
Yes.
Who asks Riri to build her an AI modeled on Gary. That would be her husband.
Which also would be unethical.
Right. But Riri refuses, as she is unsure of Natalie's true origins. The heist goes as planned until Natalie interrupts Riri, causing her to drop the virus needed for the sabotage, though Natalie is still able to help Riri complete her mission. Parker then blackmails Tunnel CEO Sheila Zarate into hiring them to prevent further damage. Riri is cornered by a guard who cannot move due to Natalie malfunctioning until Parker intervenes with one of his bullets. Note that he also slightly bends the bullet, like in Wanted. Natalie admits the encounter with the guard triggered memories of Natalie's death and expresses its suspicions about Parker's powers.
Yeah, it was probably the gun being pointed that caused her to freeze.
This is throwing me off because it's using it pronouns for Natalie.
Which I guess is correct.
I know, but it's like when you read it, you're like, it's an it, and I'm like, it's a girl. It's a
girl.
But it's not.
It's not, but it is. It thinks it's a girl.
Yeah. It's an AI. Anyway. Yeah, no, the Natalie thing, the AI in general is super interesting because we're so used to the AI being like still pretty robotic.
Yeah.
Like Jarvis and Friday.
Yeah.
But
like the exceptions being like Vision and Ultron.
I was about to say, this isn't Jarvis. This is more like if Vision were the AI, you know?
Yeah, because she has like a form that she chooses, and it's Natalie.
Yeah. And it's interesting that like the gun gets pointed in. So like the way the Wikipedia, because I'm blind reading this, which is why I get tripped up. But the way the Wikipedia words it is that Natalie is triggered by memories of Natalie's death. But
so it's Riri's memories of Natalie's death.
Riri's the one that gets triggered.
And Riri saw her die.
Natalie is a product of Riri's memories. So therefore, the
Riri froze.
Program itself is malfunctioning because it learned it from the human, which is a very AI thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting.
It is interesting because later on we see that like Riri Williams has panic attacks.
Much like Tony Stark.
Oh, okay. In your favorite Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
And this is kind of like that, like Natalie, the computer, is having panic attacks. But it's almost like I said, like the panic attack was programmed into Natalie.
Yeah, because Natalie's like, I don't know why that happened.
Right. She don't understand.
Yeah.
I also thought it'd be pretty, this is very, psychologically, this is dangerous. This is a dangerous game to be playing, as we see later in the series.
Yes, very much so.
But it does seem kind of cool to have a best friend who's also like an AI, and she like, because she's like, hey, text this, and he's like, okay, it's done. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? And she's like, look this up and run diagnostics, and she's like, okay, done. Like, she's a computer.
She is a computer, but it's like the relationship is becoming very real.
Yeah. And she has feelings, like they're programmed.
Yeah.
From her memories of Natalie, but like she has feelings, and later on her feelings get hurt, and she acts out.
Yeah, which a program isn't supposed to do.
Right. But like I said, like this asks kind of important questions of like what AIs are going to become if they are learning from us.
Does that make them people?
Does it make them act like people?
Do they have souls?
That's also a good question. And like Ronnie asks that. She's like, you created a soul. She's like, I don't know if that's true, because like Natalie hasn't met her brother yet, but if she does, they don't have shared memories.
No.
Because this is Riri's version of Natalie.
But she also has like a yearning to meet her brother.
Right.
Like she wants that meeting to happen because she's like, I want to see my brother.
Because she's programmed to love her brother.
Right. It's so weird. It's very weird. And I know like stuff like this gets touched on in sci-fi all the time, but the fact that stuff like this is becoming more and more real,
Right.
is what makes it so strange.
You know what movie I think about all the time now?
It better not say iRobot.
No, no. Well, all I'm saying is those Tesla robots look just like those iRobots.
Oh no, Sonny.
I don't know if you've seen them next to each other.
Yeah.
But, anyway, no, Her, the movie Her.
Oh, when Joker falls in love with Black Widow's
yeah,
voice.
Yeah. Have you seen that movie?
I haven't seen it, but I know what it is.
So, it predates AirPods, but there's AirPods.
There's only
And
predate AirPods by like a couple
years.
or two.
Yeah. But it's very interesting because all of that technology is real. It's one of those sci-fi movies that's like, oh, like when you look at like Back to the Future and like, oh, we didn't make any of that technology because it's silly. Like, why would we?
Why would we make hoverboards?
Yeah.
That's dumb. I want a hoverboard
So bad. So bad. Yeah, you picked a bad example.
Flying cars is not a realistic thing.
No, or like the microwave where a pellet becomes a meal.
Yeah.
I don't remember what else.
That was kind of like a rehydrator.
Oh, was it?
Which we have something like that. It's not to that extent.
Yeah.
But.
Anyway, point is, like in most movies, the things like the futuristic inventions don't ever happen. You know,
right? And it makes the movies very dated when you watch.
Yeah, not Her. Her's pretty spot on.
Oh shit!
Because
they picked stuff that was like very close to happening.
I mean,
already.
Yeah, I feel like the movie's like 10 years old or so now, but like, man, it's like, again, like most people walk around and they have their phone, and their phone is an AI, and they can talk to the AI to like do commands, and stuff like that. And so people are walking around with AirPods in, talking to their AIs all of the time, which is not far-fetched from what we do. We don't talk to Siri as much as like,
we don't have like conversations with
them. But like we do use them, and we are on our phones a lot. I think where Her got it wrong is that people would put their phones away. That's not true. We stare at our phones.
We don't put our phones away.
Yeah.
We're actually worse than the movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It was very generous. So, but yeah, I mean the AirPods and the little kind of again the pictures and the phones and the
falling in love.
And then the AI thing. Yeah, and like I don't know. There's so many. There's mostly memes, but like about like people falling in love with AIs.
Right, but here's the thing.
Gonna happen.
It's absolutely gonna happen.
It will happen. That's all I'm saying.
I'm sure people already chat with AIs like chatbots and do weird shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think that's what it is. Like you can program a chatbot to like flirt with you.
Right.
Oof. Anyway.
Yeah.
Episode 3. We in danger, girl. Riri and gang member Clown. Oh, we should talk about the gang.
Okay.
I don't like them very much.
I don't like them either. I do think they serve their purpose in this
I think
story.
They're fine. Don't get me wrong. And we haven't mentioned.
I just don't think any of them are interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, oh, all right.
I don't know if we should talk about it now or we can talk about it later. But
Rampage was the interesting one.
I think Rampage should have been on the team for sure. Because
Clown just pissed me off every time she was on screen. I was just like, you're
which
annoying.
Which one's Clown?
Explosives.
Yeah,
girl.
she annoyed me a lot.
She was annoying.
Okay, so how do I go about this?
The hacker. How are you a hacker with long fingernails?
Okay,
How
it is.
How do you type?
There it is. That bothered me a lot. And I don't want to admit how much that bothered me, but it's such a fucking... It's a TV trope at this point that whenever they show hackers, it's very unrealistic. And I thought by now we'd get better at it. It's like you can look up how NCIS has just completely misunderstood hackers for so many years. And I'm like, surely we've made fun of them for so long. We can do better, Marvel. But we kind of don't, because there was at least 3 to 4 close-ups of
Slug hacking.
Slug typing. And
how the fuck?
Let me tell you right now, they're not typing. That's not real typing. It's fake. It's just clanking on the keyboard.
And if your fingernails are that long, you're not typing efficiently.
So here's the thing.
Which a hacker, I would presume, needs to be able to do.
Okay, so before we go any further, Slug is played by... We're in episode 3. Let me go up here real quick.
It had the
thing.
The
Shea
accent.
Coulee.
Yes.
Coulee. I don't know. Shea Coulee is a drag queen from RuPaul's Drag Race, right?
And Slug is a drag queen from Madripoor.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Non-binary pronouns. So you're gonna hear me use those pronouns.
Yeah.
Anyway,
they, them.
Right. So
I thought they called Slug her at some point when something happens in a later episode.
I don't know. I did not notice that. Anyway, Madripoor, great connection. The lawless land, so that's great that they're grabbing these criminals from there.
Yeah, no, that's
Perfect.
cool. You're not a hacker though. I'm sorry.
I don't like that they were cast as the hacker. I think maybe it would have made more sense to swap Slug and what was the other one? Clown.
You know what? Yeah, I could. Yeah,
I think Shay and the other character. We don't know the character's real name. Slug. Would have worked better as the explosives person, and because they're very flamboyant. And
I feel
bombs are flamboyant.
Are flamboyant hackers like a trope in media or something?
Yeah, that's the other thing. Hackers are boring and they're nerds, and I feel like we should have gone that route. Whereas bombs explode. They're loud, they're bright, they're flamboyant. I feel like that matches better. And then the nails, the long nails also piss me off.
I think that's what bothered me. I'm like, how were you?
I'm not saying you cannot type with nails. What I am saying, absolutely, is that you cannot type fast or effectively, and a hacker of all people
needs to do both those things.
Needs to type fast. And a real hacker would not have long nails.
No,
I'm just saying. Look, and I don't want anyone misreading this. I don't think I have to say I don't have a problem with this, because I don't. I'm just saying, I think they were miscast for that
maybe as
role.
a different character.
I think the explosives one would have been better. I think it would have worked towards their acting ability better, which I also
Clown and Slug should have been.
I think
swapped maybe
a 3-way swap with Rampage.
What's Rampage gonna do?
Make Rampage the hacker, make Clown the one that gets kicked out, and make Slug the explosives person.
Okay, and then we can keep Eric on
track. I like a nerdy, witty hacker, and maybe that's too much of a stereotype.
That kind of is too, but I think
it works better.
Yeah, because I feel like, and this could also just be more stereotyping, but a hacker wouldn't have great social skills. They'd be kind of like.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
Like kind of awkward.
I'm sorry,
like
but
Rampage
like
was.
Slug, like Shea Coulee and that Slug character, it seems like someone who gets out a lot, right?
Which a hacker probably
would not do as much.
Now,
I don't know.
Somebody that likes to blow stuff up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. So there was that. I also feel like they could have done more with the drag because I don't know.
I thought Slug looked exactly like Dennis Rodman when I first. I was like, "Is that Dennis Rodman?"
Here's the thing. All the makeup,
it was the green hair,
yeah. The makeup, the outfits. It's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. Again, please don't misunderstand. If you're in a heist,
you don't want to stand out.
Don't do that.
Don't
because the rest of this crew, if you put them up if I'm a witness and you put them up on a lineup, I would not be able to pick them out.
Especially if they're like moving kind of quickly.
Dude, today you show me the two fighters, the
blood siblings.
The siblings, I don't think I could pick them out. A Clown, you put 5 people that looks like her next to her, I don't think I could pick her out in a crowd. They're just not that individual.
Slug stands out though.
Are you fucking kidding me? But how much more effective would it be if when they do the heist, they're not wearing makeup? And maybe even like, I don't know, imagine like they not get caught, but at one point they step out of the car and like they're in the middle of the street and they got their green hair and the makeup and the high heels. I'm like, dude, someone's gonna see you. And they're going to remember you forever because
because you stand out.
I'm going to remember you forever. You look too fabulous. Like, I'm going to remember you for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? And I'm going to...
it's a good point.
And you're going to jail. You're going to prison now. Whereas, I think if, like, when they were doing that, I think, like, imagine there was, like, a scene and a witness goes by and Slug decides to be male presenting and, like, lowers their voice, you would not be able
Be
to
a good
tell.
disguise. Yeah.
I'm sorry, the best disguise.
Yeah.
Because you would never put those two people together in a lineup ever. You'd go, I don't know who this is. Like, and I'm sorry, like you, short hair in Chicago, like you look like everybody else. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they could have done so much more with that, and it makes me remember like the Matrix character Switch, who was originally supposed to switch gender when they traveled back and forth.
That was
They, yeah. Go ahead.
well, that was the Wachowskis.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they didn't end up doing that. But it was like, that's interesting. And that was a missed opportunity, obviously. And I'm like, I feel like this is a missed opportunity for that specific character who's supposed to be very smart to do something very smart.
Yeah, and fool people.
And come across as like a really good criminal.
Yeah, and like fool people based on their assumptions.
Yeah. And exactly.
Yeah.
Like 1,000,000%. And
No, that would have been interesting.
the
to
fact
see.
they're walking down the street in their high heels, I'm like, what are you, dude?
Wait,
you're gonna go into prison.
What are you doing?
You're going to prison.
This ain't Madripoor.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, the rest of the crew, like whatever,
It's
like
kind of boring. I see the role they were meant to play. It was just this is supposed to be Parker's family.
right, and they don't have to be three-dimensional characters.
No,
They don't. So I'm like fine with like the blood siblings. They're muscle. They're good fighters. Fantastic. Clown is supposed to get in trouble to move the plot. That's great. Who cares? Not special. I like John a lot. I thought he was a really interesting character we could have seen a little bit more of.
because he knew something everybody else didn't.
Yeah. But I think other than that, I think some of these are wasted potential.
Yeah, I could agree with that. It was, yeah, like they served their purpose for the plot,
Yeah.
which I guess is all they need to do. But like you could have made more of them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Anyway, where were we?
I
think we're just starting this episode.
Yeah, I think we're
right?
just starting episode 3.
Okay, we in danger, girl. Riri and gang member Clown touch Parker's magic hood, and John reprimands them. Parker announces their next target, Heirloom, a biotech company whose innovations are harming small farmers. After former gang member Stuart Clark dies, that's Rampage, Riri becomes suspicious of Parker's hood and visits Joe, who is revealed to be Ezekiel Stain, son of Obadiah Stain. I saw that coming, but I was still very excited.
Because he was talking about like, oh yeah, my dad was an engineer. He was obsessed with this technology and stuff.
Yeah.
And he seemed to like not care much for Riri's armor. He was like, oh, that stuff.
Yeah. And so at first I was like, oh, that could be it. And then I'm like, wait, hold on. This is like an Iron Man spinoff.
Yeah.
Like, this is Obadiah Stain's kid.
Yeah, because I'm familiar with the character Ezekiel Stain.
I was... Go ahead.
Like
I
I knew he exists. I didn't know like everything he does and stuff. But I knew Obadiah had a son.
As soon as it happened, I was like, okay, he definitely has comic book lore. There's no way they just invented this out of thin air.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
This
yeah.
is not an original character. Ezekiel warns Riri against repeating Obadiah's mistakes and gives her a sample of biomesh skin to hide enhancements. During the heist, Riri deploys Natalie in her suit and attempts to discreetly cut Parker's hood during a negotiation with CEO Hunter Mason. However, Riri's cutter is detected and triggers a gas purge system. Parker kills Mason and the security in the area while Riri rescues the crew with Natalie's help. Mistakenly believing that Riri killed Parker, John admits to killing Clark and fights Riri. Riri narrowly survives thanks to Natalie and loses the biomesh. John suffocates after being sealed in one of the rooms as Riri informs Parker of what happened. Distraught by John's death, Parker nearly renounces the hood while shouting to someone that he trusted them but has a vision implicating Riri.
So the end
Ooh.
of this episode is, I think, when I got hooked. That's
Oh,
when
yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm in.
Yeah, this is a really good episode.
Yeah.
The
The heist was good.
heist was good, and typically, some of these shows in like the middle portions, I feel like they are just a lot of the action pieces and like are just kind of filling for time, and that's kind of what I'm afraid of. And I thought, man, this is a really interesting little kind of location with a lot of problems that were created, but for reasons that make sense.
Yeah.
like it's high security, and so if you get caught in a greenhouse, they're gonna pump up the CO2 and you're gonna suffocate to death. And it's,
which is realistic.
yeah, and it's both useful, but it's also like part of their security.
Mm-hmm.
It was something that like very quickly established the rules of the scenario. You followed through the whole entire thing. There's intrigue going throughout because Riri's not where she's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But Natalie's piloting the suit. Everyone else thinks Riri's still in the suit. She's watching the interaction between Parker and the CEO who calls his bluff. All this coming off the back of John telling them, we can't do this one because we can't find out. We don't have enough dirt on this guy.
Right.
But Parker ambitiously wants to do it anyway.
And Riri's on like her own little mission where she's trying to get a piece of the cloak.
Yeah.
Which she gets a little greedy and fucks everything up.
Did you get Spider-Man video games vibes from this? Because
a little bit.
I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of sneaking around. There's crawling through vents. There's like, it felt like a video game in parts. And
with the meter going up, and it's like, oh, I gotta stop and let it cool down.
Yeah. And like there's the music was very like Spider-Man mission music. It made me want to play Spider-Man. And also this setting is very much like an Oscorp setting.
Yep. It looked very much like Oscorp from like the Amazing Spider-Man like era of it.
Yeah. Which, I mean, the video games kind of feel like that too.
Yeah, they borrowed a lot from that. Yeah. But yeah, no, like this heist, it would be like the climax of a movie. The way everything plays out and like how the tension ramps up and stuff, it's very well done.
So I think 6 episodes is perfect for the show because it's one building narrative, and I feel like one building narrative can't go further than 6 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
I didn't have any problems with the pacing of the show at all.
Oh no! I think that's what I'm saying. I think it's really good,
which is a surprise.
If
with
you get
the Disney Plus shows,
and we started talking about this when we talked about Daredevil, but like if you want to go longer than 6 episodes, then it can't be structured kind of like a long movie. It has to be structured like a TV show,
right?
And plot points have to start and end in like 2 to 3 episode arcs with some carrying over threads,
like
and stuff
what
like
Andor
that.
did.
Sure, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But so this works really well, and like this is almost like it doesn't climax, but like the tension just keeps on building episode over episode, and the stakes keep rising episode over episode, and it helps you understand Riri because she is buckling under all the pressure.
Yeah,
that she's created. She keeps getting deeper and deeper in these holes. And you can feel the pressure that's building. And so now,
'cause at the end of this episode, she knows she fucked up
because she was reminded that she left the biomesh, which she just promised Joe she wouldn't do, or Ezekiel.
Yeah, and yeah. Whew.
Now I have a few problems with the logic of this.
She also killed John.
Yeah, fuck that guy. I like the character, but
I think like you said, a little bit more time with him would have been good. Because we know he's cousins with Parker. He has history of Parker. He knows about what's going on with Parker and the Hood. Because we know at this point we see that the Hood's doing something to him. We're not sure what.
Oh yeah, Parker is also his tattoo artist because he's getting all these like scars from using the Hood, and he thinks a tattoo's gonna cover them up. It doesn't. I don't know what that was about. Like at all. At one point he tries tattooing his own face and he's like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah, that's weird.
Anyway. Wait, what were you just saying about John? I question a lot of the logic, but I also don't care.
Regarding what?
So like Ezekiel is doing all this black market shit as a collector.
Yeah,
he has no plans for all this stuff. But what I imagine, I think he didn't
even touch the stuff.
Right.
He's like, what if I get my fingerprints on it?
Yeah. What I think he's getting at is that he feels this drive to collect all these black market weapons so that they're not used.
Because he talked about, he's like, technology should be used to like, make humans better.
Right.
Artificial organs, stuff like that, like enhance people.
I think he's trying to do a Tony Stark from the first Iron Man, where he wants all his weapons out of the picture, and he goes and he destroys them all. Right?
Yeah.
Where obviously Ezekiel can't do that, but he can buy them up.
Yeah.
And just let them sit there in a silo,
Unused.
unused. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when a lot of it he steals, and a lot of it, I guess he buys.
Which is funny because he's such like an ethical man.
Right, but I think he's just kind of Robin Hooding his way around. You know, like stealing for good.
But like being a pushover to your neighbors.
Yeah, he sucks. But anyway, great character. But like,
he loves
the
Atlantis.
who doesn't? The biomesh thing, the fact that becomes so traceable,
it was traced to him like immediately.
That's what I'm saying. And then not Parker, sorry.
I mean, we haven't got to that episode yet.
No, but Ezekiel's arrested right away and implicated.
The justice system moves very quickly in the MCU.
Yeah, but hang on. But like, there have been so many sightings of Riri flying around, and at no point.
Maybe they think that's Stain.
No, I'm saying at no point do they think that like she should be. The cops never talk to her. At one point, the cops do show up at their door, and it's because they're investigating the death of Rampage. I thought it was going to be, hey, why the fuck are you flying around in an Iron Man suit around Chicago? You can't do that.
Well, is there a law against that? There's no more Sokovia Accords.
That's the thing. Like, Sokovia Accords got replaced.
She's not in New York, so
I don't know.
Fisk ain't coming after her.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. But
maybe there's no law against it in Chicago.
Okay, so everything that happened. So, okay, they know that she is one of the only people that have an Iron Man suit.
No, that should be traced to her. Yeah.
Because of MIT, right? MIT knew that theirs was properties of theirs. That's why they broke theirs. Right? I said theirs too many times. So like Chicago PD or the Avengers or whomever know that Riri is in possession of one of these suits, and the suit is being spotted all over Chicago, and then these crimes are happening where she's flying around openly.
Well,
and like that's never brought up.
Spotted at one of the crime scenes, and the cop was shot. He wasn't killed.
Yeah, right. So why didn't they investigate her for that?
Unless he didn't say anything about the iron suit.
Right.
But why wouldn't he? Why,
exactly.
Yeah.
Like he got shot. For all he knows, he got shot by Ironheart. And
because a bullet flew.
Yeah. And they could easily trace it back to her, and that's never an issue.
I guess the bullet couldn't be traced to her. It was also literally a magic bullet.
Eyewitness account.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? and also Natalie. So I don't know, man. But the bio skin or whatever instantly traceable.
Yeah, I think that's just they kind of wrote themselves into a corner and they had to do something.
Again, I accepted it because I
was fine with it because I didn't think about it in the moment.
They said it earlier. They said, "Well, hey, if you lose this, it'll be traced back to me."
Yeah.
There, your butt's covered.
Which what exactly traced it back to him? Is it his DNA?
I don't know. Is there a receipt to it?
Is he known for creating
I don't exactly.
But he has got a fake name and everything. It's an alias.
Exactly.
Huh.
I don't know. Again, the logic of this doesn't hold up.
Yeah, it's not great.
I'm accepting it. It's a nitpick.
I'm accepting it because I like the way the story moves.
Exactly. It's a nitpick, and it listen, if it goes towards my theory, if you like something, you will accept gaps and lob. You'll accept all kinds of things if it's good, right?
Yeah. And what were your thoughts on Parker yelling at someone and getting these visions?
Oh.
Because I was like, oh, so this is some devilish shit.
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot the name of the podcast. Yeah, no, it perked me up for sure.
I do think the way episode 3 ended was the perfect way to end that episode.
Yeah, I think the way it ended was why they decided to drop this into 2 parts, which I want to talk about. But they should have dropped it. They should have dropped it into 6 parts. Like,
you think it should have been a weekly thing?
This should have been episodes. You know how episodes work?
I don't know if they might have had to do episodes 1 and 2 together.
Sure, 1, 2, and then 3 through
1
6
and 2 are
weekly.
slow.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just saying, like, this is a good cliffhanger, which is I think why they split it up into 2 parts.
Right.
Otherwise, they might have just dropped it all at once. I thought it was
Because it
just,
would have been weird to drop 3 and then do weekly after
it
that
was just
too.
unceremonious. That's what they did with Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan was 3, wasn't it?
I think it premiered at 3 and then they did it. Yeah,
They
weekly
said
after.
2 and then they changed their mind. They said 3.
That was weird.
It was also weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Marvel did not do any favors.
They didn't
For
market
this.
this at all besides releasing
Yeah.
trailers. Like
Trailers, Instagram. That's really all I saw.
and Instagram's. I don't think they pay for
Yeah,
that.
I don't. No, they don't.
I don't think they pay for marketing on that.
Well, they
They probably pay to have it
they-
like.
they pay for the creation of it and all the people that work.
Yeah, so they paid
Right.
someone to make that poster, which is a really
Exactly.
cool poster, by the way.
Yeah, some nice foreshadowing there.
Yes, it is.
I want to get to the plot so I can talk about those kinds of things.
Oh, there's
So
so
let's-
many things.
Yeah, let's get going.
Yeah.
Episode 4, Bad Magic. Knowing that Parker is on her trail, Riri analyzes the hood piece she recovered, which she discovers is an energy source for him. Zeke has been arrested for the crew's heist after being implicated by the biomesh left behind, and he is resentful of Riri for it. Okay, cool.
Understandably so.
Worried about her daughter and wanting to help, Ronnie brings Riri to her friend Madeline Stanton, a former Camartage trainee, and her daughter Zelma. The Stantons help examine the fragment of the hood and detect that is from a dark dimension that is likely influencing Parker, before abruptly ushering Riri and Ronnie out of the shop. What a great scene.
Yeah.
And I love
I love magic in the MCU.
God, I love when the MCU connects.
Yep.
And I don't think it's fan service. I think it's part and parcel of what the Marvel Cinematic Universe is all about and what comic books are all about.
That's what it was supposed to be.
Go find you
Yeah.
got a magic question, go find your local witches to answer it. You know?
Yeah.
And of course they studied at Camartage, and of course it's a lot of the kind of the same visual language as
Yeah.
Doctor Strange, and a few little notes of Doctor Strange music plays in the background. Like, I fucking love that.
Yeah. No, because it's an interconnected universe. Let it interconnect.
Yeah.
Like it. Don't make it like too fan service. Don't be like, oh yeah, actually Doctor Strange himself dropped in just to say a couple things and leave. That'd be dumb. But
Oh yeah.
no, like the way this was done, perfect.
Agreed. Ronnie and they go to like a pocket dimension or somewhere.
Yep.
They go it was great. Ronnie shares her frustrations about Riri never opening up to her, and Riri departs after pushing back. Frustrated in her lack of findings with the suit, Riri meets up with Xavier, who is horrified by Natalie emulating his late sister's image.
Also understandable.
Oh, no, he's right. 100%. Like, he's absolutely right. It's not questionable. Natalie is offended and leaves when Riri contemplates Xavier's demand to delete it, as in delete Natalie. I'm just going to start saying her. Parker breaks Zeke out of jail to recruit him as Riri's replacement, and the Zeke as an Ezekiel. At this point, they call him Zeke.
He's Zeke now.
Zeke's like his bad alter ego. At least in this show, that's how they kind of like switched him over or whatever. Also, we didn't mention it. The gag where she drops Obadiah Stane's
Oh, his ashes.
on the floor. He gets kind of vacuumed up.
Because he really doesn't care.
He's like, no, we weren't that close.
She's like, why do you have your dad in a Ziploc bag?
That was so funny.
Oh, man.
Parker sends. Oh, wait. Parker breaks Ezekiel out of jail to recruit him as Riri's replacement, and the crew assists his efforts to implant bionic enhancements in his body, albeit Slug secretly gives Parker control. Parker sends the crew to kill Riri, whom he blames for John's death. So, yeah, like the media all are under the impression that Obadiah Stane died in an accident.
Yeah, a plane crash, like Phil Coulson said at the end of Iron Man.
Right. Yeah,
he said, like, oh yeah, we're telling everybody he's on vacation. Small aircraft have such a high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, what a long connect all the way back to,
All the way back to
Iron Man
2008.
1. Yeah, that's awesome. Because I forgot that detail actually. Yeah, I guess that never came out that he was the first supervillain.
Was it never in Shield files that got leaked?
That's a good question. Actually.
Or maybe just nobody really dug into it because nobody cared.
Maybe they never wrote it down.
Obadiah Stane, who fucking cares?
Yeah. So that's great, and it's like it. You really feel for Ezekiel. Like I felt so bad for him.
Yeah, his whole life was just
Instantly
ruined. Yeah.
Also, I loved how he. It's like his house couldn't be more obviously a cover that he just decorated and just live, laugh, love signs.
Well, also his bunker had a rug that said "Live, laugh, leave."
His bunker had a live, laugh, love like neon sign also.
And he keeps a spare key under his mat.
He's such a dork, man. I loved him. I love him
He's
so
great.
much.
I really do like him.
I want to see more of him for sure.
Because he's not like outright evil either.
No, not
He's
at all.
still like a good guy.
Well,
He's just mad.
I mean, this show is very emotionally intelligent, right? Like it's kind of all about trauma and healing and
Yeah.
ethics. And at the end, to jump ahead a little bit, when Riri asks if they're still friends, he basically says no. He's like,
They know, and we're not done yet.
he's like, I have a lot of anger and I don't know where to put it. Meaning, I'm very angry
Right.
at you. And so it's not over.
Yeah. No, and he tells her as much. It's like, you and me, we're not done.
Yeah. But it's just an interesting way of putting it because, like, most villains would be like,
But I don't think it's like, I want to kill you. I think it's just like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Most villains at the end of the movie, when they're foiled, they go, I'll get you next time, Batman. You know? And he's like,
he's more like, I don't know if I'll ever forgive you.
exactly. Like, it's much more real for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like that. It was a nice touch.
It is. Yeah, so anyway, here, there's again,
We got Magic in the mix.
what's his name? Xavier, who is Natalie's brother and Riri's love interest.
Yeah.
I guess longtime love interest, though she's
Big
always
Star Trek nerd.
yeah, but she's always too busy with her school and projects and stuff. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, so they have a few moments here and there,
And it's nice.
but this is yeah, like
But she also asks him, am I a good person?
she's not healing from Natalie's death.
No.
She's putting it off, right? She's in denial, essentially.
Which is
And-
still a stage of grief, but
yeah, sure. But like
it's still like the beginning of it.
having Natalie as like this hologram is only prolonging the inevitable,
Mm-hmm.
and it's depending on the outcome, which is we'll get to, is either very healthy or very unhealthy,
It's
right?
very unhealthy.
Like it's healthy to like face your fears, which is what she's doing by like talking to Natalie so that she could finally have closure. But does she allow herself to get to the closure?
No, because she's
Not
like,
really.
oh, hey, my friend's back.
Right.
Yeah.
And so now
she
she's
falls into that trap.
yeah, now it's like a drug.
Yep.
It's like Natalie makes her feel like it's the real Natalie again.
Which we can get to that later, too, with something that she says to Parker.
Okay. Put a pin on it.
But also, do you notice that, like, she asked Xavier, like, am I a good person? He kind of doesn't answer. He doesn't say yes.
Oh, well, at the end or
In this
Here?
episode,
Oh,
when they're
okay,
having a
right.
conversation, she's like, do you think I'm a good person?
Xavier. Yeah.
And he doesn't say yes.
Yeah.
He talks about, like, oh, that's all labels and stuff, blah, 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 blah. And then he ends up on, you're a complex person.
Yeah.
So, like, oh, that's not
what you want to hear.
that's not what you want to hear.
Episode 6, Karma's a glitch. Slug captures Natalie and Riri Sue.
I was so
Real-
mad at this.
Same.
I was so fucking mad.
Same. Is it because they used like a weird plunger?
I was like, why did that work?
I almost paused the thing and I'm like, what the fuck just happened? Let me just real quick. Here's an aside, people. If you don't know, me and Berto you don't know because you don't hang out with us. We just watch Pirates of the Caribbean 1 through 3, right? Over the last few months. And like 3 nights ago, we saw At World's End, right? And there's a scene where the writers wrote themselves into a fucking corner. And you've got Jack Sparrow and Elizabeth Swann, and they are going down the maelstrom. And Jack is like, hang on. And he cuts a piece of sail, and they float away. and land safely back on the boat.
Here's the thing. That's more logical than whatever the hell this was.
You think? I was just like, and it makes me so angry because I'm like, in a movie that has some really good stuff in it, why would you allow yourself, how did that happen? How did you write yourself into a corner and then not write your way out before filming happened? You know what I mean? It just feels like on the day they're like, fuck it. Like, they fly away. What do you mean they fly away? I don't know. Picks up a piece of sail and he flies away. Fine. Film it. Like, it really upset me because it's so fucking stupid. And this just triggered me more because it's right up the same alley. You know those cartoons where the character gets like hooked off stage from the neck? That's what happened here.
Also, this implies that they knew about Natalie, which Riri hadn't told anybody about.
I thought they thought that Natalie or Riri was in the suit. I guess they didn't think that. They wanted the suit out of the picture.
Because they went to get Riri.
How would they know where the suit was anyway? She's just hanging off the side of a building.
It was weird.
Where did the plunger come from? How was it that long? She's on like the rooftop.
That was weird. It was weird.
It's this one scene was nonsense.
I was like, what the fuck just happened?
She just got goinked.
And Slug's just like, gotcha.
Hated it. I mean, I there had to have been a better way to get the suit out of the picture, right? Like, had to have been.
Like an EMP or something?
Like a bait and switch or something? Like, we need you here. Okay, you fell into my trap. I don't know, anything.
Yeah, because Riri still wasn't aware that they were after her.
It's literally a magnetic plunger to the chest. Like, just goink.
And it worked.
so mad. Slug captures Natalie and Riri's suit. Anyway, Riri meets up with Zelma, who believes that the hood came from Dormammu. Ooh, what a fun connection we have here.
And then she said she's like 47% sure.
and also she describes Caecilius. And I'm like, oh, deep cuts. Like, let's go.
Which I guess she would have knowledge of that.
Yeah, that's right up their alley.
Yeah.
And she's very book read, right? Like, she learned everything from books.
I'm sure all the events of Doctor Strange were chronicled by someone.
The crew arrive to kill Riri, and she fends them off after sending Zelma away. This happens in a White Castle. It's actually a really good scene, I think.
It is. I like seeing the robot burger flipper arms.
I don't.
They look like Dummy from Iron Man.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think that's maybe.
I think it's like that same type of robot.
I mean, that's
also apparently that's like an actual thing.
Apparently, it's an actual thing in White Castle.
And I don't like that.
Don't like that. But anyway, this has a lot of Iron Man 3 in it, right? Like, rip the suit off of Tony or Riri.
Let's see how they fare.
Ingenuitive they can be, right?
And they both are very ingenuitive.
Yeah, and they both take place in a kitchen.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah.
But just like Tony, like, she makes a weapon out of things she finds. Right. Yeah. She finds like this like cylinder and a fire extinguisher, and she creates like a cannon. Yep.
And Tony Stark finds the dog tags and the microwave and the gas.
Makes a quick bomb.
Yep. It's a cheap trick and a cheesy one-liner.
While battling Clown, Riri tells her that Parker had Clark killed. That's Rampage. Before Natalie helps Riri escape with the suit. Still bitter, Natalie turns itself off. Riri is attacked by Zeke, now enhanced with bionic implants that emit electricity. He dismantles Riri's suit and is about to kill her, but he changes his mind and spares her, advising her to leave the city instead. Riri asks her mother for help, but Ronnie, again the mother, confronts her for her obsession with her suit. Riri admits she made the suit. What? Why they word it like this? Riri admits that she made the suit that could have helped save Natalie and Gary when they were killed. Ronnie and a returning Natalie. I need to, I don't have the time to do it, but like, I wish I had the time to write these myself.
Who writes these?
Just fucking
random
Wikipedia
people.
randoms. Yeah. And a returning Natalie. Like, okay, was that necessary?
She's back.
I know, but like, ugh. Ronnie and Natalie decide to help Riri build a new suit in Gary's garage using the old car he and Riri were working on before he died. Zeke and Clown lie to Parker about Riri's death. Zeke rejects. This is so long. Can we just stop here for a minute?
Well, a lot happens in this episode.
This is a really good episode.
Yeah.
I like that Ronnie and Riri are forced to finally speak the same language to each other.
Yeah.
Because they are remarkably different people.
Oh, yeah.
Ronnie is very spiritual, and Riri is very analytical, right? She's a scientist. She's an inventor. And they both obviously have to overcome the same trauma, but they do it very differently.
Oh, I think Ronnie is doing a much better job.
Much better. And so, like, Riri has never once asked for help, and it's a source of resentment.
Every time she's gotten help from somebody, she had to manipulate them into helping her, which she gets called out on this show.
Which is good because it's also like a recurring theme in the show is
manipulation.
Yeah. Influence, manipulation.
I would say, yeah.
It even starts off early if you like like the little boy with the wagon.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's playing people, he's hustling.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's step one. And then you see how kind of Riri also does it.
Except she does it to the people she's supposed to care about.
Right.
Which not great.
Maybe learns a quick lesson on how they like get hurt, right?
Right.
Cosmic Firefox. Hey, what's up?
How's it going? Thank you for the sub.
Oh, cool. Hey, thanks for the sub.
I feel like I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah. I'm going to get my other beer.
All right.
I'll be right back. Wow.
All right, so how's it going? Arnaldo just left me here.
God forbid we
Making a cake isn't that bad.
do things for our friends. Yeah, I'll just pull it out of the oven at
Hard to catch streams because you work 2 jobs. Oh, damn. You listen to every episode of the podcast and every episode of Where's Mephisto. Well, thank you.
Oh, I didn't know you did that. Thank you very much. There's not that many episodes. We do like one a month at this rate.
Apparently my mom listens.
Really?
I saw on our little Patreon thing that she was like liking stuff too. Is she subscribed?
Is that your mom? I noticed we had a woman, which is rare.
Yeah, that's my
her?
mom. That's my
I don't
mom.
know why I didn't put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's funny. I appreciate the support, Mom.
My parents don't listen to me.
Do they know how to?
No, not a chance in hell.
Okay.
Let me tell you something. Not a chance in hell.
My parents are a little more
A little tech savvy. My dad could probably figure it
a
out.
little more tech savvy. They're also younger.
My dad is just not culturally into
Like my parents just hit their 50s.
Like he doesn't. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Damn. That's good for you. See, that's what I'm scared of, having kids at an older age.
I mean, old parent.
I'm having an existential crisis over here. Anyway. I will be an old parent, right? Like,
yeah, but that's all right.
36 now.
Keep your mind sharp.
I might be like almost 40 years older than my kids. That's a lot.
Yeah. Damn.
I'll be 80 when they're 40.
Damn.
My parents are 30. My parents have aged horribly. So I don't. That's not a fair comparison, but they're 30 years older than me. Anyway, not the point.
Anyway.
Zeke rejects Parker. What are we talking about? Yeah. Ezekiel rejects Parker's proposal to join the crew full time. Clown helps. The crew discover the fabricated autopsy of Clark, and they accuse Parker of having. Oh my God.
This one's so much more detailed than the other.
I know. Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Clown And the crew accuse Parker of having Rampage killed. Parker fires them all in anger
After attacking them.
Yeah, which causes the Hood's corruption to increase. And yeah, so his body gets fucked up.
Yeah.
Parker forces Ezekiel to help him break into the home of his father, Arthur Robbins, who is the CEO of Artworks and has a controlling interest in all the companies he and the crew have robbed. Arthur refuses to sign the contract at first, and Parker confronts him for abandoning him as a child before forcing him to sign the contracts. Riri, Ronnie, Natalie, and Xavier help make a new suit, while Zelma helps empower it with magic to resist Parker's powers, but it comes at the cost of Natalie's permanent deletion.
Which I think we'll get to it, but I think Natalie was taken away on purpose by something.
Yeah, but not. Does he have the power to do that?
Well, they were tapping into his dimension to get the magic.
That's interesting. That's an interesting theory.
Because they used a sample from the cloak, did they not?
Yeah. Interesting theory. I like it. I liked a lot of this.
And also it gives somebody leverage later.
Okay, yeah. So, like, I wonder how she can create an Iron Man suit.
Out of a car?
Out of a box of scraps.
In a garage.
But, like, earlier she's like, I don't have an arc reactor. It's all solar and wind power. And I was like, hang on.
Hang on, that's pretty fucking awesome, but...
There's no way you can generate that much energy. So, like, I feel like they should have had...
Well, she does have to, like, charge it every day.
Yeah, I guess you can't... I was going to say, they should have had her invent her own arc reactor. It's been a long enough time, right? Other people can maybe do it now, but, like...
I don't know if there's a sample to reverse engineer.
I don't know if there's the raw ingredients, the
True.
raw materials for that, right?
There might not be.
So...
I would have been fine with her using, like, some sort of alien tech. Or using magic to power it.
Well, that's what she did at the end.
Yeah.
So I'm cool with it, but I'm just saying, like... I like that she's smart enough to realize the limits of her technology and be like, all right, magic is clearly a thing, and I'm going to need it.
Yeah.
Because there's a whole montage that I quite like of her trying to destroy the Hood, and she just can't do it.
She's unable to do it. It's indestructible.
Yeah.
At least by conventional means.
Right.
Yeah.
And I love how the stakes keep ramping up, and it seems deeply personal. And
this whole plot is very personal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've also found a good way to, like, not implicate any other heroes, because obviously, like, Black Panther could, Shuri could come and, like, fix it. Doctor Strange could come and fix it.
Well, I think she's too prideful to even want to do that.
And she's like, at one point, Natalie's like, why don't you ask Shuri? She's like, what am I going to tell her? Like,
I fucked up.
Like,
Which, I mean, yeah, I'm sure Shuri would come and help. I think she just didn't want to admit that she fucked up and let things get as bad as they did.
Can you third drawer? There's napkins. Yeah, give me that used one. God damn it. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
All right, let's get to the end of this. Episode 6. What? Anything else happened in episode 5? Oh, the fight with Ezekiel. Oh, I thought it was.
We got to talk about Zeke.
Okay, Ezekiel Stain is a supervillain appearing in oh, Jesus Christ. The character is usually depicted as the son of Obadiah Stane and an enemy of Iron Man, written by Matt Fraction and Barry Kitson. First appeared in The Order number 10 in 2008.
Matt Fraction's the one that did that really good Hawkeye run, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. He's revealed to be the behind-the-scenes manipulator, pulling the strings of other villains.
Whoa.
The Black Dahlias, Maul, and Man from Shadow androids. The Order.
Being Tony Stark's. Oh, that was a Tony Stark team.
Oh, okay.
Of course he's targeted them then.
Zeke targets them.
He hates Tony Stark.
Yeah. So he kind of targets Tony Stark's initiative team called the Order.
Okay.
But he's puppeting everybody, right? He's also been affiliated with the Hellfire Club.
Oh, interesting.
What's that in Marvel?
That's the mutants.
Oh, true.
The supervillain mutants.
He has gone by Ironmonger, just like his dad,
Oh.
and also Iron Man 2.0.
Oh, I don't like that.
Don't like that.
Okay, so he's got. It seems like he's mostly tied to Tony.
Yeah, he's a Tony Stark villain. Not,
Yeah.
but I mean, in this case, it's like Tony's dead, right? So like,
Right.
and like a lot of these heroes, they have 30 villains. So it's like they're not all gonna get screen time.
And I don't think Zeke is more of a recent villain too.
Yeah.
2008.
This makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, we were talking about you one time mentioned Crossbones, and like I was like, yeah, Crossbones got his moment. Not everybody can get a movie, you know.
Damn.
So like,
Still waiting for the Scorpion movie.
I know you are.
It'd be so good.
But yeah, in the comics.
Seems like he's got a lot of history here too.
Yeah, so in the comics, he builds a bioweaponry and manufactures next-gen weapons for terrorists and supervillains since he was 9 years old.
Oh my, like father, like son.
Yeah, so I think he's less relatable as he is in this show. In this show,
he seems to be a much better human being.
yeah, but his suit is very similar to the one that he wears. He shoots lightning. A lot of it's bio enhancements.
Yeah.
But in like this comic cover I'm looking at, it's still an external suit, whereas in this, it's all internal and it's all part of his
Which
body.
I kind of like better.
I did too. I
Yeah.
thought it's interesting. Like, we've seen a million Iron Man suits at this point.
We don't
right?
need more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do something slightly different.
Yeah.
And he's trying to set himself apart, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
No, I'm a fan of how
yeah.
they portrayed Zeke.
yeah, I thought that was cool. And the fight was good, and like I said, I can really
he kicked her ass.
yeah,
too.
and they wrote him well enough that like you believe it. Oh, the scene where he yanks the spine out.
that looked like a
was
fatality.
good. Yeah. Yeah. That's some Mortal Kombat shit.
Yeah.
Okay, episode 6, The Past is the Past. Years prior, Parker is a flashback. Parker attempts to rob his father's mansion with John before escaping and splitting up, where he meets a hooded figure. The man assures Parker... What the hell? Wait a second. A hooded figure?
Oh no. Who is this?
The man assures Parker that he can help achieve his desire for power, respect, and wealth for himself, and Parker accepts the deal and becomes the Hood.
A deal?
A deal? That can't be. Let's
And
keep
I
it.
believe he says, like, what am I giving in exchange? And he just goes, oh, nothing you'll miss.
But this is not how Dormammu would do.
No, Dormammu
Business?
Dormammu doesn't bargain
Well, he did bargain eventually, didn't he?
because he got annoyed.
In the present, Parker stands as the head. There's a funny Dormammu joke. Anyway. In the present, Parker stands as the head of of his family's business and mansion. Unable to recreate Natalie, Riri resists her family and friends' advice and goes to Parker to find answers through his hood.
Again, bad idea.
Yeah. Feeling empty, Parker meets up with a stranger and accuses him of not... Wait, what? Oh, feeling empty, Parker meets up with the stranger and accuses him of not fulfilling his end of the deal. A deal? That doesn't sound like something a normal person would do, right?
Well, people make deals all the time, but
Not fulfill their end?
Oh.
Some
but
trick.
he did fulfill his end.
Some trickery is afoot, Birdo. Which the man replies he has given what he needed. Riri arrives at the headquarters and battles a reluctant Zeke, who allows her to knock... I don't like how they wrote this. Who allows her to knock him out so he can... Zeke. Yeah. Sorry. I was thinking Parker.
Oh.
Yeah. Riri arrives at the headquarters and battles a reluctant Zeke, who allows her to knock him out so he can reset and be free of Parker's control.
She knees him in the balls and
Yeah.
puts a virus in him.
Hard reset. It's that's your body's hard reset, right? You get kicked in the balls.
You know what? Kind of. When it's happened to me, I just feel sick.
Yeah, it's
Like you get like
feeling.
that feeling in your stomach.
Oh,
and
you just can't move.
Yep.
Or think.
Your body does kind of like reset.
Riri confronts Parker and demands his hood, but he warns her that what would cost her is not worth it. The two battle, with Riri managing to take off Parker's hood, leaving him wallowing in a state of eternal pain. As she's about to leave, real quick, there's a really great scene here where she like sets off a self-destruct.
This is something Tony Stark would be so proud of.
I know. It was a whole like a self-destruct thing. The suit explodes as like a final she's cornered basically, right? She's pinned down, and she has nothing left, and Parker's like standing over her and is about to kill her, and like that's just it. But the whole thing was a projection. It was like a Luke Skywalker, right? Like
she used barf.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This whole thing is barf. Yeah, yeah. Natalie is a product of barf, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was genius. I loved it. Did not see that coming.
Yeah, she tricks Parker.
Yeah. As she is about to leave, Riri meets the stranger, who introduces himself as Mephisto.
We found him, guys. We fucking found him.
Hit the button. We got him. Yeah, we knew this was coming from like years ago, but let's keep going. Having observed her, Mephisto offers to revive Natalie with the same deal he offered Parker. Riri agrees on the condition Mephisto leaves her loved ones alone. At her garage, Riri sees a revived Natalie and hugs her as the marks of Mephisto spread across Riri's skin. In a mid-credit scene, Parker asks Zelma for help. This whole finale
I really liked it.
Is so good.
I think it might be the strongest a Disney Plus MCU show has ended.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Like Daredevil's up there, but
Loki's up there too.
But the way this ended,
so
it's good. It's good.
You mentioned that like Sacha Baron Cohen comes in here very much like Jonathan Majors comes into Loki and steals the show.
Absolutely, yes.
And I like could not agree more. Like this isn't,
especially since I've only seen him as a comedian.
Have you not seen?
I haven't seen anything like serious of his.
Shit. What's the musical with the meat pies? Sweeney Todd.
Oh, I have seen. Is he in that?
Yeah.
Who is he?
Yeah, he's like he's got a whole role in the middle.
Who is he?
He did some serious acting in that.
Huh. Maybe I just didn't recognize him.
He's a guy. That gets.
I'm used to seeing him with the stupid fucking mustache.
No, he plays a serious role in Sweeney Todd, and he's excellent. It's scene stealing. Mm-hmm. He also has a role in Les Mis, but it's more. It's not as serious.
Right.
It's kind of it's kind of campy.
Mm-hmm.
But he's an incredible actor. Like when he wants to act serious, he's such a good actor.
Like I saw him in this, I'm like I'm kind of scared of this guy.
Can I just say no notes, man? I thought it was perfect.
He's scary and charming at the same time.
Yeah, he's the perfect Mephisto. And also, they kept on showing his kind of like slightly jagged teeth, which I don't believe are his real teeth.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like
it just makes him look even creepier. Yeah,
right. That it's just like something's just off.
I like how he keeps offering pizza to people too.
That's great. That'll make me sign anything.
Also, he says something interesting when Parker's eating the pizza. It's like, "What, you don't like it?" It's like, "It's fine. Just keep sending it back, and they'll bring it out till it's perfect."
Yeah.
Like he doesn't fucking care about people.
Dude. Oh yeah, that's how you read it.
I work in a restaurant.
Yeah. It made me want so there's a tavern style pizza place near here, which is tavern pizza is like a Chicago style pizza,
like cut into squares,
thin crust, which is what they were eating.
Well, that's what he was eating with Parker. Did you notice that he was eating a more traditional like New York pizza with Riri?
Really? She's from Chicago.
It's a different pizzas.
What do you think about when he puts on an American accent and then drops it immediately?
I think
is it a ploy to like just be more welcoming to that person? I think so. Because he does it with both of them and drops it with both of them.
Because he's trying to manipulate them. Right. That's what he's trying to pull their strings, which he successfully does to both of them.
I thought it was interesting because like he kind of, I don't know, like Parker calls him out. He's like, "What happened to your accent?" And at first when he was doing American, I was like, "Ooh, I really hope he switches." Because I think just Sacha Baron Cohen's like natural accent, I think, is just more fitting for Mephisto. I don't know what it is.
And the American accent was just a front.
Yeah, exactly. And he drops it.
It was, God, he's so good.
He is so good. It is so good. Like again, this is up there with Jonathan Majors stealing the show in Loki.
At the end of Loki, yeah.
And it just wants you. It makes you want more.
I want him
I'm
to be
so
a big
excited.
bad.
I'm so excited for whatever it is. It could be a Doctor. So what do you think? Is it a Doctor Strange 3? Is it a Midnight Suns?
I feel like a Doctor Strange 3 is going to go in the direction of... Actually, I don't know, because the incursion thing might be in like Secret Wars.
I think Doctor Strange 3 should be Midnight Suns. I think it should be Doctor Strange and the Midnight Suns.
And the Midnight Suns.
And it's a team up.
And bring in Ghost Rider.
Blade.
Maybe bring in Blade in a not Blade movie.
Yeah, figure it out that way.
Yeah.
And that girl, what's her name from Man Thing?
Oh,
she's in Midnight Suns.
why can I not? Elsa Bloodstone.
Yeah. Yeah, do that.
That'd be cool.
And like it's a Mephisto thing. And then I guess Riri's in it, right? Like
She's. I mean, she made a deal.
She
with the
made
devil.
a deal. She might be, and whatever they do, she might be like a sort of plot point.
Yeah, I don't think she's necessarily going to be a villain.
She could be.
She could be. But there's definitely some corruption going on with her.
Agent of Mephisto now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Also, my theory, I think Mephisto deleted Natalie. And used it as leverage against Riri.
That was interesting because I couldn't find a logical reason.
Because they're like, why'd the magic get rid of her?
Like, why would the magic get rid of programming?
Right.
That doesn't quite add up. Yeah.
Well, they used Mephisto's cloak. Mephisto's magic is in Riri's suit.
Is that how they came up with the magic? Is that how Zelma did it?
I don't know. Because she was doing a lot of stuff like on the ceiling and stuff. And
I loved, this was like 3 episodes ago, but I loved when they threw that shit on the wall and they made a slight kind of devilish, like horned figure.
Yep.
And she was like, fuck this.
Like, I'm out.
That was great.
And even then, they didn't come to the conclusion of Mephisto. They thought it was Dormammu.
That's interesting. So, like, okay. This is really what. Okay, so here's the.
And Dormammu is apparently not even good enough to clean Mephisto's asshole.
God, so good. I wrote down that line somewhere. Oh my God. It almost felt like that felt like a Sacha Baron Cohen right. Like that felt like he wrote that line.
And they just let him use it.
Yes. Like I'm like, there's no way any of these writers came up with that. That is such British lingo. Like that was straight up him. So here, okay. So this show is written. Oh my God. Like I think. So I don't know if we want to get into like overall thoughts and stuff, but like this is a really good show.
It is. I hate that people are tearing it apart.
People are tearing it apart because they're fucking racist. Like I haven't seen a legitimate negative complaint about the substance of the show. It's all attacking.
It's all them saying it's woke.
Yeah, or
which
like,
I'm like,
that's not.
What does that mean?
Then that's not enough anymore. I'm sorry, that's not enough anymore. Oh my God! So there's 2 trans characters in this.
Who cares?
I don't give a fuck. And also, I thought one of them is not that good a character, and I openly
and the other one
admitted
was
it.
just like,
yeah, it's barely in the show. It doesn't matter.
Barely
but
a character. Yeah.
That's so like fucking grow up. Like move on. What are your actual negative criticisms? Because I'm like,
because we pointed out ours. It's just like there's just a couple of
but
stupid
they're nitpicks.
things. Yeah,
I have some
it's like,
nitpicks, and that's fine. Like I have those about everything. I've never been like 100% about Andor, but like other than Andor, I'm like, you know what I mean? Like everything has a nitpick, and like I haven't.
And as long as you recognize, like, yeah, it's a nitpick. Like it's not a big deal.
Yeah, and if you go to like, I mean, I guess there's a bias everywhere, but I went to like Reddit. To like the specific Marvel Studios,
people seem to be overall liking it,
and people are talking, very highly about it.
Yeah.
I think this show is great. I think Marvel completely fucked it though, like completely fucked it because
it's getting like no traction.
I want a reason why they held on to it for 2 years before releasing it,
and why they just released it like so unceremoniously.
Is it because they? What I would hope is that they have bigger plans for Mephisto,
and they want to get this out of the way.
No, they want it closer.
Oh,
right,
maybe.
So like, think about. So it reminds me of like Loki to Ant-Man, Quantumania, where like they specifically wanted those close together so that He Who Remains could then turn into
he's still fresh in everybody's mind. And Kang the Conqueror.
Kang the Conqueror, exactly. And I'm like, okay.
And Quantumania kind of dropped the ball with that. But
yeah, no, sure. But like, yeah, this just what came out before this? Daredevil. So like Daredevil, they went all out for, and Daredevil did really good numbers, and like people were talking about Daredevil.
Well, Daredevil kind of needed to do well. They needed that one to do well because they did a whole like restructuring on it, and
that's true.
Yeah,
but like, I don't know, man. I just feel like where was that?
But this show is so competent.
You would think that this was a bad show the way they treated it, and I was expecting it to be worse than Secret Invasion, which. I mean, like, at the time I said good things about Secret Invasion is because there's good things in it.
Well, we both liked it up until, like, the second to last episode. And then we were like, okay, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, but the character stuff in Secret Invasion is really good.
Yeah.
And then, but, like, yeah, none of like, the plotty stuff is good, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, not the point. Point is, where was the pomp and circumstance? Like, where was, like, the marketing? Why would they drop it in the way that they did on the date that they did? We didn't hear about the show until a month before it came out, maybe less.
Yeah.
Weeks before it came out.
It's like oh shit, it's already coming out. Some people probably don't even know it's out yet.
Disney Plus says it's #1 in streaming, but I'm like, they could just say whatever they want. It's their platform.
Yeah.
It's not based on anything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what really
like maybe the Mephisto news is getting around and people are starting to like tune in.
What really fucked it up was that this show was written to have those suspenseful moments and have those cliffhangers, right? It's like episode 3 definitely has one, episode 5 has one, and like
those would have been talking points for the whole week.
Like, do you remember when fucking WandaVision came out and this is why we named this podcast Where's Mephisto? Every week they were like, when's Mephisto coming? That's Mephisto. Like, who else could it be?
I think a lot of this started because of like a specific YouTube channel. Kind of went nuts with it. New rock stars. The guy that's always like super excited about everything.
I don't know that one.
Maybe
I do.
He was the one who was like, oh man, and that's probably Mephisto.
Well, that's the thing. Like, that show came out weekly, and because the way that show is written, every episode had a cliffhanger, and we talked about it for a week.
Yeah.
We could have done that with this show, and I won't even go that far away. Hawkeye had the same exact build-up to Wilson Fisk.
Yeah, which...
And we did...
The reveal was a little like, oh, it's just a fuzzy picture on a phone. But also, like, I thought it was effective.
He's in the show, though.
Yes, he is.
Like, you know what I mean?
But when they reveal him, it's just like a blurry picture.
Yeah. But then he's in the show after that.
Yeah, he is.
But, like, it was a build-up week to week. And, like...
The big guy is what they kept calling him.
That worked really well. Yeah. I'm like, Loki did it well. Hawkeye did it well. This show is written to do it, but Marvel didn't follow through. So, releasing it all at once, or in 2 chunks, big deal. And then, like, we knew about Sacha Baron Cohen 2 years ago. 3 years ago? When was that?
I don't think it was ever officially announced that he was Mephisto, though. I think people just speculated that he was.
How did we know then? I want to go back and, like, look at those articles. But we knew he was Mephisto.
We knew.
So, like...
Because even going to the show, I'm like, oh, he's supposed to show up in this.
But, like, Marvel has kept secrets before. Why not with this?
So weird.
Like, this could have been the biggest reveal, and and the show tries its best. Like, it's written for it to be a reveal. Had I not known about Sacha Baron Cohen's casting, the entire show, I would have thought it was Dormammu. I wouldn't have thought...
Because the show's written to make you believe that.
Around episode 3, I'd be like, well, hang on. Is it Mephisto? But we'd be playing the same game we were playing with WandaVision.
Yep.
We'd be like, all right.
It could be a fake out.
It could be, or maybe it's not, blah, blah, blah. And then, boom, there's the reveal when you finally fucking see his face. And you're like, that's not Dormammu.
And, like, when he's stirring his coffee and the reflection in his spoon, you see, like...
I need to go
like
back
a
and see
devilish,
that.
like a Mephisto face in the reflection.
He's all red and with fiery eyes.
Yeah.
My God.
And it's very creepy looking. Cosmic Fire.
Oh, yeah, he's saying some stuff. What's going on? He says, feel like this is how they would introduce Ghost Rider. No, yeah.
Well, the MCU already has a Ghost Rider.
Okay. This should go in, like, all
We're just
out
gonna bring him back
into the magic stuff. Yeah, dark magic.
Well,
stuff.
there's supposedly a Strange Academy show coming,
Oh,
which might be what that post-credit
Zelma.
scene was leading to.
Yeah, Zelma's gonna be in the.
Maybe Parker's going to be a student.
Oh yeah, I don't like the post-credit scene. Doesn't make any sense. But I'll get to that in a second. I don't know if it was Disney Plus. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, there was like no marketing for this.
I'm just really sad that it just. We should be excited that we found Mephisto.
I am.
Okay, fine. But I just also feel like it was just so. It's been telegraphed for years. We knew it was coming. Marvel didn't really hide it all that well.
No, they didn't. But like the reveal in the show still felt really good.
The show would, if I did not know, I would have loved the show 10 times more.
Mm-hmm.
And I do love the show. I would have loved it all that more because of how it would have surprised us.
Because I guess for us, instead of a reveal, it was more of a confirmation.
Yeah, not exciting. That's boring.
I was excited. I was on the couch with my cat Snowball. She was getting scared because I was reacting like all excitedly.
So
I was like, Snowball, it's Mephisto. And she's like,
so also what's the word I'm looking for? What a climax here. The climax is not the battle. It's this conversation with Mephisto.
yeah. And
I think it's so well done. I was on the edge of my seat. Because, go on.
It's almost like you know how like in every story, like the hero kind of gets like a morality test.
Oh, yeah.
Like this is Riri's.
Yeah.
And she fails.
She fails.
She fails hard.
The bad guys win.
The bad guys win the series.
Yeah.
Every bad guy gets away.
Yeah.
Except for John.
Or gets exactly what they want.
Yeah. Like, wow.
This is the TV show. Yeah, I mean, a version of like Infinity War. Like that's the only other time like the villains have won.
Yeah.
Right.
And yeah, like, what were you saying about the conversation? Like, it was gripping.
Yeah, and I think this is where the reshoot is because apparently there was a reshoot 2 years ago, or not 2 years ago, last year. So 2 years later.
2 years after they made it. Yeah.
I think they changed the ending. I think maybe originally she passed a test.
She, like, rejected.
And rejected Mephisto and healed, right?
But that's not interesting. It's healthy, but it's not interesting.
Changed it. And I think what's telling is that the way the whole ending is edited, so it's never explicitly said that she makes a deal with Mephisto. Instead, you see what you think at first is a vision is actually a flash forward.
Yeah.
So
the way it's cut is very interesting.
I think it's well done, but I also think it's done out of necessity because they decided to go back, change it, and
well,
I think the reshoot is the scene in the garage.
Okay.
Because the hair's different too.
Yeah. I liked that though because it was like kind of disorienting in a way that I felt made the scene feel a lot more powerful.
Oh, 1,000,000%.
Like the way it ended and it felt a little abrupt, like an open ending, but also like you know exactly what happened.
Oh yeah, but it wasn't
just like,
spoon-fed either.
No,
yeah.
I was satisfied with. I was very satisfied with the ending.
Very good ending.
Yeah, and I was just like, I think people might complain about this ending, but I really like it
because it wasn't spoon-fed.
Yeah,
because it wasn't super clear. Like you see the Mephisto lines.
That's as clear as you can get.
Yeah,
but some people might not notice that.
Oh, so good.
Or if you're on your phone, you're not going to see that.
Yeah, like Netflix, they're not telling you what's happening on the screen, right?
If it was a Netflix show, she'd be like, "All right, Mephisto, I accept your deal."
Exactly. No. So again, like he's making her all these promises. You kind of see this what if scenario playing out, and it turns out it's not a what if scenario. It's actually a flash forward because she did accept the deal. Natalie is not just back. She's not an AI. She is a tangible, living, real human.
And she's a little confused.
She's been brought back from the dead.
Yeah. Damn, and she didn't bring back her stepdad? How's Ronnie going to feel about this?
That's a good question. So, yeah, this is 10 times more interesting because now a human has been brought back from the dead.
How's Xavier going to feel about this?
Exactly.
Oh, he's going to be mad. I can't wait to see the consequences of this.
Exactly. Like, this is good.
This show is getting dragged so much, so I'm scared we won't.
But like, I don't know. I think this is a Mephisto. I think this Mephisto introduction is what they did with Loki and He Who Remains.
And they're trying to turn him into a bigger thing.
It's just an introduction to then
and
follow
luckily,
into a new thing.
Right now everybody likes Sacha Baron Cohen. He's a little controversial, but that's because of the movies he makes.
No, I don't think he's a little controversial because he's a bit of a Zionist.
Oh.
Like he's pro-Israel, but
Yeah, but in Hollywood,
he's not. He's like, look,
does it matter that much?
he's tried his best to get canceled for 20 years.
That's true.
You know what I mean? I think it's safe.
That's true. That's true.
He is a genius comedian. Like, I don't know. Like, I think if you don't know about Sacha Baron Cohen and Bruno and Borat and Ali G, like, he used to do interviews like TikTok before TikTok, right?
Yeah, he did.
And it was all very like subdued and kind of surreal and camp, and it was just overall like
Eric Andre does shit like that too, kind of.
today. But
Yeah.
like Sacha Baron Cohen is a pioneer, I
Yeah.
think, of this kind
Yeah.
of like
He-
comedy, right?
He would have fit in well on like the early days of Adult Swim.
Yeah. But I mean, you go
With,
back.
like,
I mean,
Tim
I
and
think
Eric and
like
shit.
maybe not like Dolly G show. I don't know, but like I think Borat the movie holds up. I saw it not that long ago.
I haven't seen the
It's so
second one.
No, but the second one,
I haven't. What's it called? Subsequent.
shit, yeah, movie film,
Movie film.
something. But like they get what's the name of the politician? Rudy Giuliani. They trick Rudy Giuliani.
Former mayor of New York City.
Yeah, so like he's in the movie. And he must be so fucking, I mean, obviously he's stupid, but he must be so fucking stupid to fall for this, because he agreed to this interview, and then like I guess in the movie Borat is trying to like prostitute his daughter, who's a minor, to Rudy Giuliani, and he falls for it.
And does he accept?
Well, like he like leans back in the bed, like he gets very comfortable.
Oh.
And so that got out, and obviously the movie went out,
Oh.
and like they try to play it as, no, that's all in editing, like they edited things around, but like Sacha Baron Cohen's like, no, you dumbass, we tricked you into soliciting prostitution from a minor, and we were this close from pressing charges. Like it was. So anyway, I didn't watch the movie either, but I want to. I want to so badly just for that. Because
oh shit.
He can like, he's just so smart, and he's so good at like turning an interview into an opportunity. Like that's some next level improv skill, you know? The dude's a comedic genius. Like that's something I fully believe. Anyway, he's a really good actor, and I thought all his scenes are perfect.
I agree.
Anyway, let's move on. Overall thoughts. Let's kind of start.
Yeah.
Wrapping this up. Anything else that we need to talk about?
I guess just our overall thoughts. I enjoyed the show a lot more than I thought I was going to. Because I went into it, I'm like, like I probably won't love it, but I watch all the MCU stuff anyway. Like this will probably be decent. And it's one of my favorite recent projects out of the MCU. Like we've been eating good this year with the MCU, with Daredevil, Thunderbolts, and now this.
Yeah, no, for sure.
There's also the end of Phase 5.
This was it
Officially. Yeah.
Wow. I like this little Easter egg. It's not even an Easter egg.
Ouch.
But when she hits the White Castle like marquee board, all the letters fall out except for ones that spell ouch.
That's funny.
Yeah.
A detail about her last suit of armor. I mentioned this in the Discord, but it's like with the red and black coloring and her feet, or like the leggings of the suit, they look like hooves.
Well, I noticed that with her other suits. So like one of her first suits doesn't have the full leg, so you see both feet.
Mm-hmm.
You see where her foot ends, and then like a foot below is the mechanical foot.
Mm-hmm.
And so it does kind of look like a hoof.
It looks devilish. Almost.
It does,
yeah.
And also her suit is red and black.
Yeah.
Which I think looks really nice. I think like the final suit looks incredible. I loved it. But like she's never red and black. Like that's not her color scheme.
So that was absolutely intentional.
Her suits are either Iron Man colored, so like red and gold, or they're pink, black with a touch of gold and silver.
Right.
Those are
generally
her colors.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
So there's that, and also like thematically, again, we touched up on this, but like everyone, all the main characters in this are manipulators in their own way. So there's Parker, who has been manipulating the people around him.
Yep.
Kind of like in a cult like fashion, like that we're a family and blah blah blah, and I saved you guys, and holding that over them, and always thinking 2 steps ahead on how to like replace certain members, right? Or like manipulate them further. They get called out for it all the time, right? So like they're all calling each other out for it.
That is something that the show does. It calls out like shitty behavior when it happens.
But Riri's doing the same exact thing. So I like a hero and a villain being very similar on opposite sides, right? Like a Dark Mirror situation.
Yeah. And her and Parker on very like almost identical paths.
Exactly.
Yeah. Down to the you mentioned like the like for Riri having Natalie back was like a drug.
Oh yeah.
And like not having her hurts. Yeah. Similar to when Parker loses the cloak and
he says it hurts.
He says it hurts and Riri says I know.
Yeah, yeah.
So
yeah. They are they're Black Mirrors, right? So like and then all of that mirrors like the Mephisto MO, right?
Yeah, they were both desperate enough to make a deal with the devil.
But that's also like his modus operandi. Like that's what he does. He manipulates, he tricks, he uses people.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have to answer the consequences.
No, he is the consequence.
But like Riri is learning.
He's
that,
already
like,
in hell.
Yeah. So, something else I really like about the show. I thought I was gonna say the effects all look really good.
Yeah, I have no issue with any of the CG in the show at all.
It's 10 times better than her appearance in Wakanda Forever.
Yeah,
and
that was a
that's a movie,
very big budget movie. Yeah,
this is a TV show. But if I mean,
I like that the armor is like armor too. None of that nanotech bullshit that we got for the past 10 years.
Yeah. It's if you miss Iron Man, like one Iron Man flying around the city and all the clanking and the pew pew, this is it. Like this scratches that itch for sure.
It's good to see her in the suit.
Yeah,
like you see that she's in it. You know, it's not like, oh, my hoodie turned into a armor. You know, which is cool, but it's not.
I mean,
the
that
same.
only happened once.
Yeah,
I think we stress out about it, but like it was a one-time thing. No, but yeah, the suit effects are great. The flying effects are great. The action's really good. Music is really good.
It's good.
It's got that culture, right? So like it feels like it's from a place. This is from South Chicago.
Yeah.
Right? The characters feel real. The places feel real. It was shot on location.
We got an Anthony Ramos song in one of the credits.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It was at the end of, I want to say episode 4.
God, he's so talented.
4 or 5. But yeah, it shows like Parker, and then it cuts to black, and then I only knew it was Anthony Ramos because the credits set, or not the credits, the subtitle said Anthony Ramos. I don't know. He was singing in Spanish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shit. What else? So of the actors, again, all the principal actors I think are fantastic.
The crew,
crew suck. I'm sorry. They're just they let me down.
Yeah.
But the principal actors I think are really good. I thought the mom was good. The guy who played Gary for a very short time is good. Natalie's great. Dominique is good. I was surprised by her because we saw so little of her in Wakanda Forever. I was like, is she a good actor? And then I was in Dominique Thorne, Riri Williams, and I think she's really good here.
I think some of the dialogue is a little cringy.
Oh yeah,
but that's a nitpick too.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's not on any of the actors. That's script writing. Sacha Baron Cohen was great.
Oh, Sacha Baron Cohen was perfect.
Stole the show.
I'm so excited.
And was there somebody else I was thinking about with the acting? But I forgot what I was going to say. Whatever.
Oh, you know what I forgot to say is I completely sympathize for Anthony Ramos' character, Parker,
Oh,
because
yeah.
his dad's a piece of shit.
Yeah, because like, I guess if you wanted to like simplify it, it's like, oh, he has daddy issues, but it's just like that. I mean, that's a real thing for people.
Well, he's a CEO. It's like
He's a CEO. He didn't have time for his kid.
but
He straight up told him he didn't want him.
right, like he literally wrote him out like a tax write-off.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's how he saw his kid. He's
Yeah.
like,
He's
it's a
like,
liability, write him off, like sell him off or whatever.
It's fucked up.
Yeah.
Very
And I'm like,
fucked up.
like I haven't empathized with a villain in a long time that well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm like, oh no, kill that guy.
And I sympathize with Zeke as well.
Post credit scene, I hated it.
You hated
By the
it?
way, I thought, how does she not know? So Parker goes and asks for Zelma for help. Zelma, like, sure, she never met Parker, but like, you know, I don't know, like, why wouldn't it come up? Why wouldn't a picture of him, a recording of him from the suit or something come up? Why wouldn't she recognize the fucking scars that he has? The fact that he just shows up asking
he's still
for,
scarred from it.
like, hey, like, oh, I beat the guy. Yeah,
Maybe she does know and she wants to help him.
she has.
But she's acting like she doesn't know like
I don't
who he
know,
is.
dude.
Yeah.
The way they wrote it, it just seemed like she just doesn't know. And I'm like, you made a whole point about how, like, hey, this scarring reminds me of Caecilius. Why wouldn't you recognize it in the wild when it's staring at you in the face?
True.
Like, this just seems. I didn't like it.
Oh, I'm curious where they're going with that though. It's like, you think Parker's trying to like
I
get
thought we'd
magic
get-
so he could go back to being a villain, or do you think he just wants like
I don't
I
know.
don't know some inner
actually.
peace or something?
I don't know.
'Cause-
I was hoping for a Mephisto post credits. I
That
didn't
would have been
think.
so
I
good.
didn't think we were gonna.
Or like Ghost
just-
Rider or something.
Or he's trying to play a trick on the next.
The next victim.
What's the next thing coming out? Obviously, it's like
Fantastic?
Fantastic Four, Doom, yeah, and then Avengers
Let's
later.
see
But
Mephisto
like,
talking to Galactus.
I'd like to see him talking to Wong, or I don't know, like
I don't know if Wong would fall for that. Or see him talk to like
I read a comment about how Wong is not doing very good at Sorcerer Supreme.
yeah. There's a lot of magical shit going
There's a
on.
lot of shit going on. At least between like the events of this and Agatha and like Death is doing shit. Like we have Death, we
Because
have
he's
Mephisto.
too busy
and
watching TV with Madison.
Madison, yeah. Well, anyway.
But there's one more just thought I had while I was watching the show. I thought it was super interesting, and I know like logistically why Parker was doing it, but all of his targets, he was trying to get them to sign a contract.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a very Mephisto-y thing.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Because I know he was doing it so he could get like stakes in companies and stuff and money. But
Yeah.
it's interesting that
Their contract.
the agent of Mephisto was getting people to sign contracts.
Yeah, you're right. That is really smart. I hadn't thought of that. That's good.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
Because
just-
at one point he's like, because other people are like, we'll just
and
write you a check.
the one person that doesn't sign gets killed. The
Mm.
the bio guy.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I like that. At least two of them were like, no, we'll just write you a check, or maybe all of them were like, we'll write you a check.
And he was like, "No, I need you to
the
sign this."
contract.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that was very sus.
yeah. I need. Phew. I need to know what the next thing is. I need to know when Mephisto's coming back. I was hoping also for
We
a
have to wait another like 5 years.
You know
I'm
what I
pissed.
wanted also is the title card, like Mephisto will return. I needed that
something
promise.
like that. I need to know that he's coming
like
back.
that would have been good.
Because if they did all this and then like he's done,
Fuck no, no. So here's what we're doing. Okay, so let's move on to our next part. Here's the part of the show where we ask ourselves, is Mephisto in this show?
fuck yeah, he
And
is.
yeah, oh yeah, like 100%. Like actually, yes. And typically, it's just a cheeky thing of like finding who like the most like sus villain is.
Well, it was Mephisto.
and who could be. And sometimes we're talking about Star Wars shows or DC shows, and we're like,
Right.
yeah, like Mephisto's pulling the strings behind so and so and blah blah blah. But like, when is he coming back? That's the new question.
I guess we'll just have to keep looking.
We will have to keep looking. Guys, if you're wondering, well, that's just it. We're gonna wrap the show up. Patreon's closed.
It's like no, because
Incorrect.
He's gonna be in other things. He has to be.
There's no if they don't just get Sacha Baron Cohen and do this performance for him to not come back. So when's he coming back? What do you say?
I don't think it'll be Doomsday or Secret Wars.
No, I think. I don't know. Do you have any ideas?
Well, what else do we have down the pipeline?
I don't know, but it needs to be a Midnight Suns.
What if it's Spider-Man?
No.
No, I feel like we're gonna have enough going on with that movie.
I saw someone say like Peter Parker.
He's gonna bring Aunt May back, and we're gonna recreate the worst Spider-Man storyline ever.
He would be. Oh wait, never mind. I was gonna. I read something along the lines of like Peter Parker could be like the ultimate Mephisto foil. Like he wouldn't fall for any of it.
He does in the comic.
Exactly.
Yeah, he literally.
You just reminded me that
he
literally.
I mean, to be fair, it's also the worst Spider-Man story ever written, and everybody hates it. And I think they've been like trying to retcon it, but they still haven't because him and MJ still aren't together again.
Really?
Yeah. It's
interesting.
It's like editorial doesn't want him to be happy.
Yeah. Yeah. He can never be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we will be on the lookout for when Mephisto returns because he must return. And in the meantime, you know what? He might still be controlling other things from behind the scenes.
Yeah. Who else do you think made a deal with him? We know Ringo Starr did.
That was funny. He said so. Here, this made me wonder.
The
actually,
Forbes top 100.
He said 100 of the top 100.
So everyone.
And I thought Tony Stark.
Oh.
And then I thought, no, he's only saying that because Tony Stark is dead.
Yeah.
I think Tony had that moment where he realized.
I'm sure he approached Tony.
Maybe.
And Tony probably was just like, who the fuck are you?
I don't think Tony would. I think he's too pragmatic. And I think.
He's also too proud.
Yeah. And I think post like Iron Man, I don't think he would have. Pre-Iron Man, maybe.
Well, I think he would have approached him pre-Iron Man, and he was just Tony was so fucking full of himself. He was like, I don't need help.
Maybe, yeah.
You know, he was already like basically a celebrity at that point.
Yeah, I don't like to think that Tony made a deal with.
I don't think he did.
Mephisto. I think Mephisto says that because he's dead, so he's no longer on the Forbes top 100.
Exactly. Who's on the current Forbes top 100?
Well, wouldn't it be Pepper now?
Ooh, I could see Pepper making a deal.
Yeah,
just unknowingly.
Yeah, that's how she got Goop.
Oh my god!
You don't get that without making a deal with the devil, yo. Like, selling vagina scented candles for
Elon Musk
$50 or whatever. 100%.
Who is MCU canon?
Are you fucking kidding me? 100% he signed a deal with the devil.
He's MCU canon,
bro.
too.
Like Donald Trump, 100%.
Yeah.
How else are you that bulletproof?
True.
Like, fucking account like, what's the word? The consequences never hit you; they just roll off your skin.
So there has to be some kind of deal.
There's some protection. There's mystical protections. You kidding me? 100%.
Who else? Who in the MCU though that we've seen do you think would have made this deal? Obadiah Stane?
Stane for sure. Pym?
Maybe.
Huh. Maybe.
I could see Pym not wanting to though. Pym's another guy who's like, I don't want to ask anyone for help.
Yeah.
Or Pym would just tell him to fuck off and wouldn't even listen to him talk.
I mean, that's what he did his entire career, right? He's tell people to fuck off.
Yeah. That is.
Yeah.
Nick Fury. Maybe.
Fury.
Maybe.
I don't think so. I think that's too compromising. He wouldn't compromise himself. He's a super spy.
What if he doesn't believe in souls?
All right. This has been fun, but let's get going. Any other last thoughts?
Other than the fact that we found Mephisto, this episode is called There's Mephisto.
Yeah.
And we really like this show. No more thoughts.
Yeah, I really liked it. If you made it this far and you haven't seen it, what? But watch it. This is a really good show. It deserves all of the praise in viewership.
Yeah, and I don't want to see another genuinely good MCU project go ignored like Thunderbolts.
Yeah. Yeah, Marvel, you gotta do something with your marketing. I don't like how they spoil things so quickly now. They used to have secrets. You used to have to watch a
They
thing.
used to be like the most secret.
They used to be the most secretive. Imagine if like Endgame and Infinity War were spoiled. If they weren't spoiled.
No.
Like that's a feat.
Well, it's a miracle that it wasn't spoiled.
That's what I'm saying. But now it's like they're not trying anymore. I
think it
know.
all started to fall apart with No Way Home.
I don't know, man. Yeah, No Way Home was no,
Everything
you're
was
right.
leaked. They had Andrew Garfield on damage control.
Yeah, you're right. Anyway, guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing to our Patreon. This might go out on the regular thing, so you guys.
Should we title it "There's
Here.
Mephisto"? Or is that too much of a spoiler? You think? Or does everybody already know anyway?
I think everybody knows. I think we've all known.
So I think just this episode should be
Yeah.
called "There's Mephisto" for the bit.
Okay, for the bit. Thank you for subscribing to us on Patreon. If you're not subscribed on Patreon and this does go on the regular feed because, hey, this is a big event for us, right? Then check us out. There's new segments. There's more of this Where's Mephisto nonsense on. We talked about Andor and Daredevil and Skeleton Crew and a lot of
Creature
Star Wars. Creature
Commandos.
Commandos, yeah. So come check us out. There's also outtakes. I got like 3 more outtakes I need to post up. I want to do a studio tour. I've been saying that.
Yeah.
But
What's our next show gonna be? That we were gonna look for Mephisto, and what's coming out next?
I don't know what comes out next.
I know there's that Wakanda animated series.
Oh yeah, I saw commercials for
I
that.
don't know how soon that comes out.
Me neither. I didn't. I haven't
don't
seen the
think
last
there's a-
two. I
There's
haven't
no
seen the
Star
last
Wars.
2 animated
Oh
things.
shit! There's no Star Wars show coming
No.
out.
Anyway,
Peacemaker season 2.
and
August.
August.
Yes.
Damn.
Okay.
And we'll see you guys next time. We might be doing like we used to do random episodes
We might do a couple of those.
where we were like, hey, I looked for like it was like homework. It was like I looked for Mephisto and this and this and this, and you look for Mephisto and this and it was just like a opportunity to talk about the things we're watching.
Yeah, it's just like
Yeah, that's fun.
that is fun actually. I like
Yeah,
that.
we'll do those.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, guys, on the regular feed, we're gonna be doing Superman stuff and Fantastic Four stuff.
Yeah.
So come by and check it out.
Hell
All right.
yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, I have to hit the button. Hold on.
Bye, Cosmic Firefox.
Cosmic Firefox, thanks for hanging out. Let me.
And thank you again for the sub.
Oh yeah, thanks for subbing. And that's it for us, and we'll see you guys. Ah, damn it, I don't know if I'm gonna bake that cake.
We're gonna have to do Superman soon.
Superman, yeah.